it's a really big show. We've got Jade Cargill taking on Ruby Soho in the final of the TBS Women's Tournament. We've also got Hangman Page taking on Bryan Danielson. That's a big one as well. The rematch for the AEW Championship. Obviously, the last time they faced, it ended in a time limit draw. This time we've got judges and obviously a lot of excitement because that first match was a very, very good match. It was a very, very good match. I had a few issues with it. We were talking about this earlier, actually, over on the Football Days channel. Had a few issues with it, but I did think it was still very, very good. And a lot of people out there regard it as one of the best AEW matches ever. So we're in for a real treat with the rematch tonight. We've got Malachi Black taking on Brian Pillman Jr. And we've also got the Lucha Bros taking on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. So we've got those 4 matches, and I'm guessing there's other stuff as well that's been announced. Those are the things that I've seen. I haven't seen like an official tweet yet by AEW. I'm sure there's one out there. But those are the kind of the big matches that are jumping out to me as we're getting closer towards this first Dynamite on TBS. Of course, it is a glum day, a sad day. It's not, well, it is a new day, but it's a sad day because there have been more WWE releases. And I know this is going to be the big topic of conversation. And I would imagine at times throughout the stream, people will ask the question, what do you think about William Regal being released? What do you think about Timothy Thatcher being released? What do you think about Danny Burch being released? What do you think about that guy in Diamond Mine that just folded his arms and I can't remember his name being released? Like there was a few that got released. There's no, to my knowledge, like big active stars. Obviously Timothy Thatcher's been out with injury. Danny Burch, I think, has been out with injury as well. And the foldy arms guy in Diamond Mine, he's just been coaching, to be honest, and he's done a lot of coaching. So I think a lot of these are more people that are out with injuries, people that are behind the scenes, that have been released. I think it's about 8 names, 9 names, something along those lines. William Regal, as I have to say, is the one that hurts the most. It probably shouldn't. It probably should be a Timothy Thatcher, and it probably should be a Danny Burch or one of those guys, that are younger and have got their kind of careers still to go. They're not finished with their in-ring careers. It probably should be one of them. But for me personally, William Regal. I love William Regal. I wrote a tweet out earlier about how I think William Regal could potentially be the best English wrestler in like wrestling history, dare I say. I'm trying to think of other English wrestlers that really had the impact that he had. Of course, you jump to the British Bulldog, and you jump to Dynamite Kid. The thing with Dynamite, though, is that he was big in Japan, and he was great in the British Bulldogs tag team. But, he had a bad attitude. Obviously, they did a Dark Side of the Ring episode all about him. He had a bit of a bad attitude. Solo-wise, I mean, they just keep going back to those Tiger Mask matches. He did have a great style, and he did a lot in Stampede. But I have to say, I think that William Regal did more, over a longer period of time in WCW and WWE. And I kind of think that his impact isn't as great. I don't think William Regal's impact is as great as the Dynamite Kid. I mean, I will go that far. But I really would be putting him in that bracket. Like, William Regal, to me, is absolutely one of the best. I mean, we are talking about the best English wrestlers ever. I mean, we're talking about Dynamite Kids. We're talking about Davey Boy. Davey Boy, probably out of all of them, had the biggest impact with the fans. I would say Dynamite might have had the biggest impact with the wrestlers. But William Regal, because of his longevity, because of the fact he did it in WCW, he did it in WWE, he might be the one for me. He might be the one. He might be my absolute favorite English wrestler. Obviously, we've got Pete Dunne that's coming through as well now, and you could point at Paige, who had quite an impact also. But again, because of her injury, she kind of shone bright, but didn't shine for very long. And again, go back to William Regal and the fact that he was in WCW and had, multiple great matches. His feud with Finlay was, brilliant, absolutely incredible. I mean, it was kind of like the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn kind of feud in a way. I mean, it was really hard hitting. Like they don't, there's no half measures there. Like they're really laying it into each other, and you can tell they've got great chemistry as well. So whenever I think of William Regal, I think of Finlay, and also like with William Regal, I think about like when he was King and when he was GM on Raw and did a great job. Of course, I mean, he had an amazing career, and then he became GM of NXT. A lot of people will only know him as GM of NXT, and he was amazing at that role. Like, one of the best GMs we have ever seen, ever. I don't care what era that you are talking about. I don't care what show you're talking about. If we're talking about some of the greatest general managers in the history of wrestling, I would straight away throw in William Regal. I think he was that good. I think that he stayed out the way. He was only involved when he needed to get involved, because of him being like big, and maybe even the English accent kind of gave him a bit of authority, and he just came across as an authority figure, very respected, and God, yeah, I mean, it sucks. It just sucks. He was a brilliant wrestler. I mean, that story about William Regal having that match with Goldberg, I know, I'm sure all of you have heard it, but basically they turned around to William Regal in WCW and they were like, right, we want you to have a match with Goldberg, but can you give him a match? Because he just keeps winning squash matches and we need him to go a little bit longer. We need him to be challenged. We don't want him to steamroller through everybody. Like, it's time that he actually faces a little bit of, competition. And William Regal was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. So he went out there, and Goldberg was under the impression it was going to be another squash match. So Goldberg goes out ready to just pick up William Regal, slam him down, jackhammer, spear, all this kind of stuff. And William Regal was like, nope, that's not what I've been told. And so, like, if you've never seen that match, it's one of the most interesting matches, ever. Because you've got two people trying to have two different matches at the same time. And Goldberg cannot beat William Regal. It's not as if Goldberg steps into the ring, picks up Regal and starts throwing him around. Like, William Regal holds his own against Goldberg because Regal's under the impression that they're meant to be having a proper match. And I think he ended up getting fired for that because apparently the person that told him to have a match wasn't authorized to do that or something, and it kind of all blew up backstage and there was a lot of drama, and William Regal ended up losing his job. But it's kind of like that's one of the most infamous matches from the 90s, and I just love that story. I love that story that William Regal, because he trained as a proper wrestler. Like, he was actually wrestling the public in Blackpool. Like, you could actually go and try your luck against William Regal in Blackpool, and he came up in the world of sport, and he was in matches with Big Daddy here in the UK. Big Daddy is like a massive name, one of the big. If you used to speak to the average person in the UK, I'm not even lying. If you used to go up to like the average person in the UK and say name a wrestler, if they're slightly older, let's say if they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, I would put good money the name you get is Big Daddy. If you used to go up to a 50, 60, 70-year-old in the street here in the UK and say, name a wrestler, I would put good money that the answer you get is Big Daddy. Because it used to be on TV all the time here in the UK. And he had his own, annual that came out every year. He was on kids' TV shows and all this kind of stuff. So Big Daddy was... everyone knew who Big Daddy was. He was like David Beckham. Everyone knew who David Beckham was. Everyone knew who Big Daddy was. And, yeah, William Regal was starting out with like working with Big Daddy and like going all around with, in Blackpool and working that scene and working his way up. And then he somehow made it into WCW. And actually, that's a part of William Regal's kind of history. I'm not too sure how it worked out. I don't know how he went from like Big Daddy in the UK scene and then ended up going to WCW, but either way, he did, and as we said, he had those great matches with Finlay, that Goldberg story as well. From there, ended up in WWE, and, had some, again, great matches. Wasn't it like WrestleMania 17, where he has a match with Jericho on that show that's just like a little lost classic? That show is amazing anyway, but so many great William Regal matches. Like, you could sing his praises as a wrestler without even talking about him being NXT GM. And then I think, honestly, NXT GM was just incredible as well. So I don't want this to turn into like a William Regal love fest, but I also don't care if it does. And I genuinely regard him as one of, if not the best kind of English wrestlers to ever come out of, if not, is up there with like Dynamite. I think I keep saying, but I think Dynamite had the biggest impact on wrestlers. I think British Bulldog had the biggest impact on fans, and William Regal just kind of, I suppose, falls in the middle, really. I suppose he's very much the middle guy. He kind of didn't have as big an impact as the British Bulldog with the fans, and he maybe didn't quite have as big an impact with the wrestlers, but he did have an impact on wrestlers, and he definitely influenced people, and he's definitely someone that wrestlers look up to, and he was legit. He's got that reputation for being legit, and he's very well respected, very well connected as well. And in regards to the fans, I think the fans really enjoyed his work, but maybe not to the point where, like, the British Bulldog. So he's kind of in this kind of middle ground, but as a result, it kind of means he's probably one of the better all-rounders. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got the respect of the wrestlers and the respect to the fans, and he's such a special wrestler. There's not many wrestlers I've actually met, and he is someone I wanted to meet, and I did, and I've got a picture with him, and it was brilliant. I was talking to him, and I was saying about like who do you think's like really special in NXT, and he said to me, I don't like to answer that question. I don't like to single people out. And I was like, I totally understand. I totally get it. Yeah, I totally understand. Asuka's special, though, isn't she? That's what I said to him. Because at the time, Asuka was still down in NXT. And I was like, Asuka's special, though, isn't she? And I think he said something like, yes, she's very special. So I feel like he's died. He hasn't died. And he's had health issues as well. So, it could, James Chadwick was saying earlier, it could be that he, is requested it himself. But I just don't why don't you just put him on a Legends deal? Put him on a flipping Legends deal. Let's just sell some T-shirts. We'll sell some figures. We'll put him in the Hall of Fame. Do you know what I mean? Like, he ain't going to wrestle again because he's had health problems, but flip. How much? It can't be costing that much a month to have William Regal on the books, can it? I understand you can't use that with everyone. You can't go, well, it can't be costing such and such much. And it can't be costing such, because obviously it adds up. Like, I get that. But, like, oh my God. He's been with them for like 2 decades or something. He's been with them so long. And it's just, where's the loyalty? There's no loyalty. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. I haven't heard anything bad about him. They all love him. He's done a fantastic job. The fans love him. And now he's just cast out, thrown away, done, end of the road. It's also like it's awful. It's just awful. It's not even like, even if it had to be done, there's no big farewell. There's no dignity, is there? It's just right. It's done. Fightful has learnt. William Regal's gone. That's it. Fightful's learnt. William Regal's gone. It's like this. I hate it, honestly. Joaquin said, do you think William Regal is done with wrestling? I'd think so. I think so, because he's not got great health. I mean, honestly, there's been quite a few times where we've heard that, he's had heart trouble. And, I mean, don't forget, he had horrible addictions to things. Horrible addictions. I think it was addictions to painkillers. And he was not in a good place. He has been, he's been through the mill. He's been struggling with drugs and everything throughout his career and through his life. And I think some of that has kind of really caught up with him. Like, I don't think that his body is in a brilliant place right now. So, I don't know. I mean, like, he ain't going to wrestle matches anymore. But I just want him to be, like, fit and healthy and, enjoy his twilight years, really. I mean, he's done in the ring. I thought a GM role was good for him, and he's done that for a long time, in all fairness. So just have to hope that he's kind of saved up his money or whatever. But, I mean, look, if he does Comic Cons and goes out and meets the fans, I'm confident there'll be a lot of fans that want to meet him. I'm confident there's a lot of people that want to go and have a chat with him, and kind of, just learn more about his career. And, they could do a great documentary on him. He could write a book. I think he did write a book, actually. I think he did write a book. I think it's called something like Walking the Golden Mile, which I always meant to buy, and I never did. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll buy that tonight. And not that I'll get a chance. I wonder if they've done an audio book. If they've done an audio book, that's brilliant. I'm much better with audio books than I am, like, sitting down and actually reading. So maybe I'll have a look for that. But, yeah, brilliant. I love him. I love him. And I think it's one that's definitely stung a bit more than others, to be honest. Joaquin, shout out to you. Vape Ross Vape said he sent a letter to Bill Watts and WCW hired him. Is that how it went? He sent a letter to Bill Watts and WCW brought him in. Wow. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's really cool. I'd like to get that audio book, actually. I'd like to get that audio book. I have got a William Regal t-shirt, which actually earlier today I thought, I'll wear that tonight. And then I've slipped my mind. But I do have a William Regal t-shirt. But this is what I'm saying. Why don't they, like, just keep them under a merch deal and, like, make some t-shirts and make some figures and... I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since we had a William Regal figure. And I don't think we ever got one of him as NXT GM, which I think would have sold all right. You could have done a basic. Could have done a William Regal basic of him as NXT GM with a microphone. Press a button around the back and he goes, War Games. Like, that would have been amazing. But, yeah. They all suck. All these releases suck. But the William Regal one kind of hit me especially, to be honest. Did you see Wrestle Kingdom? Ospreay Okada already a match of the year contender, said Aseeb. I haven't been watching it, bud. Haven't been watching it. I must admit, the reviews have been a bit underwhelming. I was going on Dave Meltzer's Twitter because I just wanted to get a feel as to if people were enjoying it. Obviously, you've got the fans, loving it and whatever. But I wanted to get an idea as to, what's Dave thinking? What's the general reaction? And from what I saw from night one, about half of night one, people were like, "This is trash." I saw people saying they didn't even make it through the show; they just switched it off. But I will add that I did see a comment where someone said they'd switched it off halfway through. And the replies they got was, "That's a shame. The show actually got really good after that point." So I'm thinking the first half of night one was nothing to really write home about. And then apparently the second half is really good. And I saw a lot of people saying that the fact that the crowd weren't cheering and whatever because of COVID restrictions and they were having to be silent and they were just applauding, like, took away from the show. So it kind of feels like this year's Wrestle Kingdom has had a few issues that it's had to try and deal with and overcome. And I must admit, I mean, I do look at that card, and I'm a Naito fan, and I don't really like how they've used Naito on this card. So I'm not, I don't know. I kind of feel like there's a great one-day show there, if I'm being truthful. I think there's a great one-day show that's been stretched out to two. And then they've chucked a third night on which I believe is, obviously later, that is going to be New Japan against Noah. So I kind of feel like, okay, you could do that as a day. If you want to do that show, fine. Doesn't really count as anything. They're counting it as a third day. It's not really a third day. It's not happening at the Tokyo Dome, so it's not really a third day. I don't think you can count it as a third day when you're changing location. But I suppose they did WrestleMania 2 at different locations, if you want to get technical. But I don't count it. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any reviews for Night 2. Which was earlier today, wasn't it? So hopefully that was good and enjoyable. And people loved it. But from what I saw of Night 1, it was a bit of a mixed bag, let's put it that way. But yeah, I saw that Okada came out with a robe that had this was class, actually. He came out with a robe that has the history of New Japan all over it. It's got the year and then a load of text that tells you, like, what happened that year in New Japan, and then it goes to a different year, and it's got, like, 1987, and then it's got, like, loads of Japanese text, and then 1988, loads of Japanese text, and his whole entrance robe, was covered in like a summarized history of New Japan, which I thought was amazing. It's really cool. It's just like this white robe with like a kind of writing all over it. So from a distance, like, I suppose the robe doesn't look that special. We've seen nicer looking robes, but like when you get up close and you see what it actually is, it's like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Imagine if someone in WWE or AEW did that. I mean, AEW's would be short, of course. You'd only get like a few lines because they've only been around a couple of years. But WWE one would be awesome, where it's got like a history of WWE on it. It's really cool. I hated Okada's kimono. It's his accomplishments, not New Japan's. Is it? Because I definitely saw like 88. I think I saw 88. I'm sure I saw like 80s. So I thought it was New Japan. I'll look into it. I thought it was New Japan because it goes back quite a long way. He wouldn't have achieved anything in the 80s. Surely that's when he was born. 1989, I was born. Maybe you're right, but I was under the impression it was the history of New Japan, and I was like, that's really cool. That's really cool. Airflow Game said, what is your favorite Wrestle Kingdom? Mine is 11. To be honest, I'm not great with the numbers when it comes to Wrestle Kingdom. I suppose it'd have to be the Okada Omega one that's kind of set up. Didn't we get 3 in the year? Whatever, and the first one was at Wrestle Kingdom. Next one was first one was Wrestle Kingdom. Then I think was it Dominion, and then I can't remember where the third one was in that trilogy. But whichever Wrestle Kingdom that one was. I mean, to be honest, probably the first 8 or so I never watched. Maybe even 9. I can't remember what the first one was I saw, but it was around 10 that was the first that I saw. And then I've kind of, watched it, actually sat down and watched the whole thing ever since. I've seen matches from previous ones. But, I've got a weird relationship with New Japan. I've never actually sat down and, just completely lost myself in the promotion and the history and all of that. I've tried to follow, the major stories, and I've tried to follow some of the big kind of wrestlers from there, but I'll be the first to admit that my New Japan knowledge is, going to be lacking compared to someone that's religiously watched it, so. Yeah, I still haven't watched this year, for example. I to be honest, unless I'm actually streaming it, I do find it a little bit tricky to get to shows, to actually get to watch them. And normally, I would be streaming them. And I have definitely missed not doing it. Even though this year's card, which I thought had some nice stuff on it. I mean, I'm not down on this year's card. It's just maybe not as, didn't grab me as much as previous cards. I still, would have streamed it. Definitely, if it weren't for the copyright issues. I mean, New Japan are just awful. They're awful. Sean Ross Sapp, I don't even know if Sean Ross Sapp's done a watch-along this year, but I think it was last year he did a watch-along for it, and I'm guessing he didn't this year, because last year he got hit with copyright strikes. Got copyright striked for a watch-along where he didn't play any video or any audio, but they still hit him with a copyright strike. They will copyright strike you and deal with whatever after. If they've done it by mistake, they'll deal with it after, but they'll hit you with the copyright strike first. Fine. No thanks. Hollywood guy said, Dave, sad to hear about Regal. He was fantastic. One personal question. Do you feel that WrestleMania should be 1 day or 2 days? I think that it should be 1 day, and it should be about 3 hours, and it should be the best matches and the best stories that have had the best build. I am not really into this idea of let's get everyone on the show. I understand WrestleMania is the pinnacle of wrestlers' careers. Like getting onto that show is, what everyone wants to do. And I understand that not getting onto that show would lead to a lot of, upset backstage as people would be disappointed. I totally understand that. And I understand a lot of people would be missing out on that. But look at what they're doing with the releases. I mean, they are letting people go that I don't think cost that much. William Regal ain't going to be on that much a month. So, I don't understand. I don't get why we're releasing all these people and whatever. And we're able to not care about that. But then, equally, when it comes to WrestleMania, we're just chucking people on the show for the sake of it. There's a lot of just waffle that we don't need with WrestleMania. It does not need to be 2 nights. You could have gone through WrestleMania 37 and got it down to one amazing day. Imagine if you had just the triple threat with Roman and Edge and Daniel Bryan. You had Sasha against Bianca and the emotion of that match. I think, wasn't it Drew against Bobby that started it off, which I thought was pretty decent. Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn, which I thought was pretty decent. You could have got together a really good single day WrestleMania, and I think, would have been great. I'm not into this, let's just shove the show and make it, full of everyone for 5-6 hours. So, for me, that's the preference, okay? The creme de la creme. Make it 3 hours. You don't need a show. No show needs to be longer than 3 hours. No show needs to be longer than 3 hours. Do you know what I mean? Just a long film. A long film, that's all you need. Back in the day, they only used to do 3 hours for pay-per-views because that's all you could fit on a videotape. That's all you could put on a VHS. So they couldn't go longer. If they did, then it would have to be 2 videotapes, and that's obviously more money. If you're going to have to make 2 videotape box sets, that's going to cost you double than if you make just one. So they used to try and get it all done within 3 hours. And honestly, I grew up with that, and it was perfect. It was brilliant. It was easy to watch. You never outstayed its welcome. The pacing of the show was fine. You was constantly building towards the main event. Maybe you had a little main event in the middle as well. I'm thinking WrestleMania 8. You had Macho against Ric Flair. I'm thinking things like that then meant that you built towards that. Then it brought you back down again. Then you built towards your second main event, if you will. And I thought that was a great way of doing it. 3 hours, doesn't outstay its welcome. Lovely, thanks. But now, they've started to get everyone on the show, and I think it was WrestleMania 35 that was so long. I think it's still going. It was 5 hours, 5.5 hours or something like this, right? And then a 2-hour kickoff show. It was about 7.5 hours with the kickoff show. I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. It's unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It was an all-day event. And, I'm a WWE fan. I'm a WrestleMania fan. But, man, even I was shattered. By the time we got to, the main event of Becky and Ronda, I remember just being completely worn out. Completely shattered. Completely worn out. And it just wasn't right. And then because of COVID, they've, now decided to split it into 2 days. So my answer, right, it's a long answer, but it's a detailed answer. But my answer is, my preference is 1 day, 3 hours, the creme de la creme. If they can't do that, if they refuse to do that, then 2 days and what we've got now. 2 days, 3 hours, and just try and give me the creme de la creme. But the absolute one thing I do not want, the one thing that I would fight to avoid would be 1 day and it be like 7 hours long again, or 5, 6, 7 hours. I just don't want that. I don't want that. It's too long. It's way, way, way too long. So, I don't mind the 2 day thing. I don't mind it because it's better than the alternative. And plus also, like, I don't mind the fact that you're watching something on day one and we get to come back tomorrow. I've still got another night to watch. And you've still got that excitement for the matches you haven't still seen yet, The challenge is, can you book 2 gripping and entertaining nights of WrestleMania? Can you make 2 nights of WrestleMania can't miss, must see? We'll have to see, won't we? We'll have to see. I don't think they quite achieved it last year, for example, and they certainly didn't achieve it in 2020. So I think I've yet to see it. I've yet to see a 2-day WrestleMania that's like really knocked it out the park. But they could do it. It could be done, but man, they'd have to have a hell of a great build. And I don't know that I've got the confidence that they could do it. Don't know. Moldy said, can we do a poll? Will there be a debut tonight? Can we do a poll? Will there be a debut tonight? I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like a lot of people will say yes. But I don't know who it would be. I haven't really heard any rumors or... I have heard Tony Khan say that he has got something coming up he's really excited about. He said he's got something coming up or someone coming that's like a dream signing, which could be Johnny Gargano, it could be Jeff Hardy, it could be Windham, it could be the Briscoes, it could be, I don't know, perhaps he's dreamt of signing Brody King. I have no idea. Obviously, we are seeing Malachi tonight, so there is potential there. I don't know. I feel like, will there be a debut tonight? I feel like there's a really good chance because it's the first night on TBS. But I wouldn't know who to put in a poll, to be honest. I wouldn't know who to put in. There was another one. Mitchell said, Days, just a fun question. Oh, I like fun questions. Here we go, guys. Fun question time. Fun question. Are there any UK snacks you would recommend for someone in the US? Maybe available on Amazon so that I can try it. Any UK snacks? I'm probably not the best person to ask because I don't try to snack. I try to avoid snacking. So, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, I suppose in a way, Cadbury's, what things that Cadbury's, do you get Cadbury's in America? I don't know. Cadbury's is made here in the UK. We've got, there's actually a chocolate factory in Birmingham, which you can visit and go around. And that's always a fun day out. And they have got, like, lots of different chocolate bars that they make that get sold all over the country. And I think, get shipped internationally as well. But I don't know if they're sold in America. Obviously, in America, you've got things like Hershey's, which I know is really popular. And, like, Nestle, of course, are international. So I think it's difficult for Cadbury's to kind of compete internationally, but they're huge here in the UK, of course, Cadbury's. But I don't know. What would I recommend? That's probably a good one for the community. That's probably a good one for people to let you know rather than me, because I just don't tend to snack that much. I really am on like a health kick. I'm really trying, because I'm very aware that I just sit here and talk. And, I never did much exercise anyway. I do even less now. So I kind of find myself trying not to snack, trying to drink water, trying to be healthy so that I don't get stuck in this sofa. Do you know what I mean? Don't want to get to the point where I'm just drinking and eating and just absolutely huge. So I do try to avoid snacking. Toast and beans. I don't think that's a snack. I think they mean like more Walker's Crisps or Space Invaders or I saw someone say Jammy Dodgers. Jammy Dodgers, they're quite nice. Jaffa Cakes, things like that. But would I recommend any of them to any? Jammy Dodgers are all right. Jammy Dodgers are all right. Esteban really likes Jammy Dodgers. Jammy effing Dodgers. Yeah, get them in. If you are in the UK, Cadbury's cream eggs are popular in the US. Oh, yeah. Well, they're good. They're nice. That's interesting that the cream eggs have gone over. Because they make loads of different, things. It's not, they don't just make cream eggs. They do, lots of different chocolate bars. And, they do, a selection box at Christmas. A couple, actually. So, but the cream eggs only tend to come out at Easter. You can't, I couldn't go to the shop and buy one now. They only tend to bring them out around, well, maybe I could. Perhaps they'd be in for Easter now. But they only tend to have them out for Easter. A new channel is Days Just Stuck on a Sofa. Honestly, it's coming. It's on its way. Mini Eggs. Mini Eggs is not a bad little shout. Space Invaders. Yeah, they're I can't remember what flavor they are. But they're just crisps, and they're in certain shapes. And let me find them actually. I wouldn't recommend them. I mean, I'm not really a crazy fan of them. They were just they're just crisps. I think you would call them chips, maybe. Space Invaders snack. Space Raiders. No. What the hell's a Space Raider? Space Invader crisps. There we go. God, perhaps they don't make them anymore. I can't even find them now. Oh, guys, I'm a boomer. I remember them being around when I was a kid. I thought they still made them. But maybe they don't. Although, I have just seen hula hoops get mentioned. What happens if I search UK snacks? What actually comes back for UK snacks? UK snacks. Jammy Dodgers, Toffee Crisps. Aeros, Double Deckers. God, do you know what? I mean, I am genuinely looking at this thinking, we ain't really known for our food. Do you know what I mean? We ain't really known for our food, and I don't think we're really known for our snacks. So, I don't know what the flip I'd recommend. I'm just looking at, Walkers and, I don't know, Doritos. Surely you have Doritos anyway. Ben & Jerry's? You have Ben & Jerry's. You created Ben & Jerry's. Google is stupid. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I wouldn't want to. I really wouldn't want to recommend something that I genuinely didn't believe in, and I don't know what I believe in. I don't know what I could recommend that I'd be proud to stand next to and defend. If you came back and went, "Oh, I tried it. I wasn't keen." I'd want to stand my ground and go, "What you on about? It's the greatest thing ever." And I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could lend my recommendation to anything. That's bad, isn't it? That's bad. It was a really good question. It's a really good question. McVitie's chocolate digestives. They're just boring. Just like a biscuit with a bit of chocolate on. I'm not into that. Days, they're Space Raiders, not Space Invaders. Nah, I definitely saw some. I know Space Raiders, but I definitely saw some crisps that were called Space Invaders as well when I was young. I mean, granted, I hadn't seen them for a long time, but no, I can't see them. I can see the Space Raider ones, but I mean, in all fairness, there's probably loads that have been and gone. One of my favourites was Astros as well, and I think they used to get made by Cadbury's. Astros. don't know if I'd be able to find them now. I mean, looking for search room, it brings up the Houston Astros. I'm just old. Just flipping old. All the things I used to love are gone now. Wrestle with Andy said a box of celebrations would give a good selection of everything. But would you really stand by what's in a box of celebrations? I mean, maybe it's just because I've eaten them throughout like my life that to me now, if someone gave me a box of celebrations, I don't even think I'd say thank you, to be honest. I wouldn't. I mean, first of all, I'm on a diet and I'm trying to be healthy, so last thing I need is chocolate. And I've never had like the sweetest of teeth. What? I've never had a sweet tooth, so it has never been something that's bothered me. And then it's like, what do you get in a celebrations? Let's have a look. What do you get in a box of celebrations? What do you get in a box of celebrations? Celebrations. I feel like you might get this in America anyway. Let's have a look. Cadbury celebrations. You get. Oh, they do the heroes as well. You get. I'm just looking. You get Snickers. I'm sure you get Snickers in America. Bounty, Galaxy, Twix, Mars, Milky Way, and Maltesers. I mean, I wouldn't stand by them. Do you know what I mean? If someone said, can you tell me a great snack to try? Would you genuinely turn around and say Milky Way? I mean, I think you get Milky Way in America anyway, but you don't call it Milky Way. Milky Way in America is different to the Milky Way in the UK. I'm sure it is. And I'm sure your Mars bars are different as well. But it's all roughly around the same sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Mars bars, Milky Way, blah, 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 blah. It's all roughly around the same ballpark. I don't know if you get Bounty in America or not. That's like it's like coconut in the middle with like chocolate around. I mean, I don't mind them, but I would never turn around to someone and go, "Oh yeah, you want a great snack? What the lads are coming round to watch some NFL. What you want, mate? You want to get about 20 bounties, 20 like no, you don't. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm sold on celebrations. What you want is you want to get there's one. This is probably. There's one here. I've got one here. Let's see if I can. Will it let me show? This. I mean, this is what I love eating all the time. I probably, if I'm going to have a snack, I'm really binge on something. It's going to be this. I love Minge. Absolutely love it. Big fan. So if you are looking for a snack, you could treat yourself to Minge. So I don't know who makes it. In all fairness, can't remember, but you could give that a go if you want to. Available on Amazon right now. So that's the UK snack that I would recommend. Esteban said the answer was jammy Dodgers. Retribution said Lion Bars are a staple British chocolate. Look, here we go. Look, it's all kicking off now. It's all kicking off. Grant said, I love getting the lads together to watch the NFL. I don't know what you do. You lot do that. You do those kind of tailgate parties or whatever they're called, don't you? And like Super Bowl, you get the lads round. Come on, lads. Come and watch the Super Bowl and all of this. Good thing William's not around. No, he makes them. My faves were always vice versas. Love them. They're the ones that have got a white kind of coat, a hard candy white outer with a chocolate inner, and then it's got like a chocolate outer with a white chocolate inner, vice versas. They were great. I loved them. And I mentioned them earlier, Astros. Mars Delight. I don't know what those are. What's a Mars Delight? What's a Mars Delight? Never heard of that. Crunchy, Twirl, Twix, Double Decker, Dime Bar. Dime Bar's everywhere, I think. And that's probably my favourite. If I was to recommend a chocolate bar, then probably Dime Bar. I mean, in a way, I suppose snacks kind of opens out to, like, does it open up to sausage rolls and things? Do you know what I mean? What would you class as a snack? Oh, I fancy a snack. Does it open it up to a sausage roll? I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'm not a chocolate eater, really. Not a chocolate eater. I would, if I'd eat a Dime Bar. Oh, I'd eat a Dime Bar. If I was going to have an Easter egg, I'd probably go for a Dime Bar Easter egg. But, I don't know, it wouldn't be the first thing I'd be thinking of. Do you remember when Snickers were marathons? Yes, I do. Didn't they go back to calling it a marathon for, like, some kind of anniversary recently? Yeah, I remember that. And what was it? Starburst were opal fruits. Absolutely. Scotch eggs, sausage rolls, pork pies, and shortbread. That sounds like the title of your biography. We have deep-fried Mars bars in Scotland. Well, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. If you want a UK snack, get a Mars bar, deep fry it. Then you're basically in Scotland. Frosting is my favourite, but it's just too sweet. Sausage rolls would be classed as a snack. There we go. Hayden said, I love a sausage roll. Did you see that Cena breaking Flair's record? Oh, do you see Cena breaking Flair's record as his retirement story? He could have one last run, I suppose, and then put over Gable Steveson or something. Don't know. I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to know if they're going to do it or just leave them there. They might just leave Cena and Ric Flair tied and actually have someone else beat it. Do you know what I mean? It kind of sets the bar, doesn't it? So it's like no one can get past that point. Like Ric Flair, John Cena, both stuck on 16. Who's going to get to 17? Who's going to be the one to achieve that? Like, in a way, you don't need Cena to be that person because you can't utilize that story. It's just a nice thing for John. But it's not, you can't use it. Do you know what I mean? It's not like John's still around and you can big him up as the 17-time champion and sell out shows and whatever with that as a marketing thing. So perhaps they'll just leave John there and then give it to someone else to be, the one that gets to 17. If you ever had bourbon balls, how dare you? How dare you come on this stream talking about my bourbon balls? You can make them yourselves. I would suggest them. What's your favourite Tatos or crisps? I don't know what the hell a Tatos is. Crisps. Not a crisp person. Honestly, you couldn't have asked a worse person this question. I mean, I really, genuinely try to not snack. I mean, when I get up, I try to have porridge. And I tend to put a bit of apple in there, a bit of honey, some pecans in with the porridge. And I don't do that every day, but I probably do it like once every 3 days or so. So I'll do it a couple of times a week. So I'll have that. Then, a few hours later, probably about 3 hours later, I might have some chicken and some noodles, or I might have some tuna and rice or something along those lines. We'll have dinner at some point. I don't know when that'll be. I've started to have protein bars. Not because I'm trying to get swole. I'm not trying to be big swole. But they are a lot more... They're low fat. They're lower in fat than a chocolate bar. They're a lot more filling. And, it's got a lot of goodness in there anyway. I mean, protein is just good for your bones and your muscles. So I kind of think that it ain't hurting. Do you know what I mean? By having it, it's not hurting me. You can get them for about 75p. You could get a protein bar for about 75p, and it's going to be a lot more filling, a lot more substantial than a chocolate bar, and it's going to be lower in fat. This is the kind of thing that I look into. This is the kind of thing that I look at. So, I've got a few of them in the house. I might have one of them at some point. And what else do I have? That's about it, really. I'm trying to think. I feel like there is something else that I tend to have, but I can't quite remember now. Whatever it is, I haven't had it in a long time. Sometimes I have some of those microwavable meals. Again, low-fat ones. So, like, there's, like, sweet and sour chicken. Like, I really do try to have, like, meals or something substantial rather than crisps, chocolates, desserts. Like, I've been battling not doing that for about 2 years now. I'm pretty good at it, in all fairness. And we've got to the point where we just don't have it in the house. So if it's not in the house, can't be tempted by it. So, but I've never had a sweet tooth. Even if it was in the house, I'd feel like my willpower would hold out. I'll tell you where my weakness is, though. Flipping ice cream. Ben & Jerry's. If there's tubs of Ben & Jerry's in the house, you know, like chocolate brownie, birthday cake. They used to do one called Cheeky Monkey, which was like banana flavor with some like chopped up nuts in and whatever. That was nice. If there's tubs of that, like, we can get through that, no problem. That's probably my weakness. So that would tempt me a hell of a lot more than a chocolate cake or bars of chocolate or packs of crisps or things along those lines. Would be like Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Didn't they die of heart attacks or something from, like, eating too much ice cream? That might just be an old wives' tale kind of a thing, but crazy. The UK minge snack isn't great. The Brazilian version is better. Do you know what? I believe that. I totally believe that. Less messy. Jose, shout out to you. James said 8 minutes till Dynamite. John said, I'm allergic to nuts. Don't have that then. You'd be all right with minge. Jordan said, Days, my favourite Wrestle Kingdom is 8 because of Prince Devitt's Carnage entrance. Very cool. I did see that. I didn't see that whole show. That was definitely not a Wrestle Kingdom that I saw from start to finish. But I have gone back and watched a lot of, obviously, Prince Devitt's highlights and best moments, and that one always gets shown. It was very cool. Very cool. US Milky Way is the same as a Mars bar. Yeah, they do mix them up, don't they? Days, pastel de tres leches is my favourite cake. Pastel de tres leches is your favourite cake. Never heard of it, to be honest. I'm addicted to snorting blue cheese. Well, we've all got our vices, haven't we? We've all got our vices. If you are just joining us, this is not Snack Days. This is Wrestling Days, and we are 7 minutes away from AEW. And we've got a very, very good show tonight. So, obviously, Hangman and Bryan Danielson. I wonder if they'll start with that again. If they do start with that again, then obviously everyone will be thinking that we're going to go an hour again. I don't know what the time limit is this time. Is it another hour? They've said there's going to be judges, which makes me think they're probably going to use them. But that could just be a swerve. Could be a brilliant swerve that they bring in judges and then there's an actual clean finish. So, I mean, that'd be pretty good. Bring in judges. Everyone thinks it's going to go to the draw and then it doesn't. That'd be good. Luke said, where's Windham tonight? Where's Windham? At the show. He's at the show. He's going to be there. Windham is coming. TBS. This is what they've waited for. I thought they were going to bring him at Full Gear. No, they were waiting for TBS. Tonight's the night. Windham is coming. Windham is coming. Austin sent me a DM earlier saying that. He said that he's had him as a profile picture now for about 2 years, and as a result, he is very well connected with the Fiend. And Windham said that he's going to be on the show tonight. That coming from one of my prime sources, who I have already named. So yeah, Windham on the show tonight, definitely. 100%, never been more certain of anything in my life. Austin says, I did not. Got you, bud. You missed my last super chat. You're breaking my heart, said Just Shanks Wrestling. Oh, what did you say, dude? What was it? I'm trying to keep up with them, to be honest, but I keep giving such long answers that then I miss the next ones. Basically, I'm a disgrace. It won't let me go back to it. What did it say? Dude, what did it say? Just Shanks Wrestling. Do not put it in as a super chat again. Just type it as a message and I'll read it and see what it said. Yeah? We can fix that broken heart. We can fix that broken heart. Put it in Just Shanks Wrestling and I'll read it as and answer it. I hear that blue waffles are good snacks. Never had a blue waffle, to be honest, but I hear they're very addictive. So, Chris, shout out to you. It's good to know that you've tried that. Jose says, reveal your sources. Listen, Austin would be furious if I did that, so there's no way I'm going to do that. There's no way I'm going to throw him in the deep end like that. All you need to know is that I have been told he is 100% appearing tonight. Yeah, that's it. That is it. You don't need to know anymore. It's on a need-to-know basis, yeah? We've seen your Amazon account. That's all right. I don't mind. I don't use real names on anything, so it's not a problem. I use a series of different names for different social media accounts, so... Wrestling Andy said, I just remembered WrestleMania is 2 nights. Do you think it could be Brock versus Roman night 1 for both titles? Then the Rumble winner faces one of them on night 2. I do like that idea. They should do that because they do that at Wrestle Kingdom. They always tend to do where you do a match on night 1 that then leads into night 2. And I must admit, I was very surprised that they didn't do that before. I was very surprised they didn't do that on the previous 2 years, because it just seems like a really easy way of killing a bit of time. But in all fairness, they've got so many wrestlers that they're trying to shoehorn onto the show. You see, this is where it becomes a problem, because I think you could do something really interesting. You could do like 2 semi-finals on night 1 and then do the final on night 2. So, do you know what I mean? Like, you could do like a little tournament thing, but Vince doesn't like tournaments. He said before he doesn't like tournaments. So, I don't know, I don't know if they'll do it. I would like it. Could you imagine if you had, say, Seth, Big E, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley in a tournament, semi-finals on night 1, the 2 winners face each other on night 2. Like it'd give it a big fight feel. It'd be like a little mini tournament. And you get, like, the WWE Championship crowned. You could do that because you could do Brock, Roman. So maybe Brock relinquishes the title, or we find a way of getting the title off him, but it doesn't actually go to anyone. And then it's just kind of like, we need a tournament to crown the new champion. So you do Big E versus Kevin Owens. You do Seth versus Bobby Lashley. They both fight on night 1. The winners then go to night 2, where they face each other there. How awesome, wouldn't it? That'd be great. So, but all we keep hearing is that Vince doesn't like tournaments. Are you upset about the AEW Plus price increase? A full $2 more. Am I upset about it? I'm not bothered. I'm sure there are people that are. But I think it's all right value. I mean, it does suck a little bit that we don't just get to watch the shows live. Do you know what I mean? Normally. It kind of sucks that here in the UK, we can't just turn the telly on and watch the shows. We have to, pay money each month. But it's like £6.99 or whatever. It's still, it's not a problem, is it really? To watch the shows live. I mean, I wonder, it can't be a better business model than actually being paid by a network. If it is better, then maybe it's something WWE could look into doing. But it's probably better to be on a BT Sport just from an exposure point of view. Like, I should imagine they get more viewers that way, rather than being behind a paywall. The only thing is, if you wait a few days, it does go onto TV then. But if you want to watch it live, this is how you have to go about doing it. So really what I should do is just try and VPN into America and see if I can find the channels. That'd probably be the better thing to do. But saying that, you'd have to pay for like the VPN and everything. So yeah, it's not a problem. It doesn't bother me. Right. We're here on TBS, but not really in the UK. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. TBS is Dynamite. Anna said, here we go. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Days, is King Savage still here? I don't think so. First time on TBS since 1999. Did you know that Finn Balor got the Demon King idea from New Japan doing the body paint? He even tried a prototype demon paint in New Japan. This is going to be good first AEW on TBS. Tilius said, I like the fact you get $2 fight credits every month. So in the end, if you buy pay-per-views, you end up getting it back. Oh, I didn't even know about that, to be honest. Right, we are starting with Bryan Danielson, so it looks like we are going to this one on here. Bryan Danielson against Hangman Page. Days, have you ever had minge pie? Listen, I don't think you can call yourself a man if you've never had minge pie. Bring us Mox. Where are the judges? I hope the judges are Brandy Rhodes and her friends. They would be the greatest judges of wrestling ever. Brandy Rhodes and a couple of her friends. Here's the Hangman. Hangman making his way out. Got pyro going up, shooting up into the sky. Great way to start the show, isn't it, with these two again? So, Windham is coming on December 15th. Just seeing... how funny, they're showing my least favourite part. They're showing my least favourite part where the referee is on the outside. All the referee needs to do is just ask the question. Can you continue? If the answer comes back yes, then count. You don't need to, like, stroke him on the head and check him and give him water. Might as well made out with him. Here we go. This has got such a big fight feel. I'd actually, I would kind of like this to be a trilogy. I don't want it to be just 2 matches. I think I want a third. Mark Henry is a judge. Paul White, the Big Show, is a judge. Who was the dude in the middle? There's some poor dude just sat in the middle. He's like this. I was looking at him and I was like, who is that guy? I was waiting for him to get announced. There's some dude just sat there like that. He's got Mark Henry that side. He's got Big Show that side. Why didn't they just put them together? Why did they have to squash some poor dude in between? God, imagine that. That'd be awful. That's my nightmare, that is. That's one of them. Like, where you turn up to a show and you're like, am I really sitting on my own? What am I? Seat 137, oh my God. And you look over and then you've got Mark Henry and Big Show and you realise you're sat in between. I'd be like, oh my God. I don't think I'd sit down. I think I'd go. I don't think I would cope with, like... I wouldn't cope. I would not cope. like sitting in between them like this, awkward throughout the show. You can't really ask them questions during the show, can you? You can't really like sit there chatting away with them or whatever. Like, oh no, they looked like there was no room as well. Here's Bryan Danielson doing some jumping jacks outside the ring as the bell has sounded. Is it Jerry Lynn? Is it Jerry Lynn? I didn't notice that it was Jerry Lynn. He didn't get an intro? Did they forget to give him an intro? Airflow said, I would cry. I wouldn't be able to move. This better not be another draw. Let's go Hangman. Two big dudes. Nice takedown by Bryan Danielson. Danielson outside the ring. So, again, he's being quite evasive. Did some jumping jacks on the outside. On the, it's worth mentioning as well, just on the ring aprons, it's got TBS written. So, it's got like AEW logo in the middle, TBS either side, TBS on the railing covers as well. I really like Hangman's ring attire as well. It's just black, but I like that kind of scenery on the sides. It's got like a bit of a sunset vibe. Looks really good. Bryan Danielson working on the arm. Against the ropes. Manages to stay out the way. Goes over to the corner. Does some more jumping jacks. I remember him doing this in the first match as well. Why is the grass so dangerous? It's full of blades. What is mine pie? What is mine pie? I don't know. I don't know what you're on about. Side headlock by Bryan Danielson. Working on the arm. I like matches that start off with this kind of slow pace. We've spoke about this before. Against the ropes goes Hangman. Danielson to the outside. Suicide dive by Hangman. Hangman quickly going up top. Looking for a moonsault. Danielson moves out the way. Powerbomb onto the edge of the ring by Hangman. And Danielson rolls out. Danielson makes both such a great heel and face. Bryan is too good for AEW. Not sure how that's going to go down. Don't know how that's going to go down in the chat. Goes hard into the railing. Hangman goes hard into the railing. Hangman down. So, Danielson, I like that. I like the fact he didn't just get hit with that, like, suicide dive. Like, it feels logical. It feels like something that would happen. Into the ring post goes Hangman. This pace is actually quite quick. If this is going to go for an hour, they're going to do well to keep this pace up. He's got Hangman, hurls him shoulder first into that exposed ring post. There's nothing like around it. It is just literally the metal post. WWE tend to have like those covers, don't they? Is there a noise? I can hear like a little tingling, and I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Kick coming in by Danielson. So Danielson in control. People on their feet as Danielson's throwing in some kicks to Hangman that's in the corner, throwing in some chops as well. Beach break on January 26th. AEW returns to Cleveland. What do you think that fans' conspiracies that Vince wants to erase as much of Triple H's legacy in NXT? I think it's rubbish. I think it's a load of rubbish. I don't put any stock into it whatsoever. I mean, Vince has got no reason whatsoever to want to erase Triple H's legacy. There's no reason for it. Like, they're, as far as I know, on great terms. Obviously, he's part of the family as well. I think Vince appreciates Triple H's work ethic. I mean, obviously his son-in-law as well. I don't understand why he would want to do that, or what benefit it would be to him. I mean, I can understand Vince looking at NXT and thinking it's not doing what I want it to do, and looking at NXT thinking, we said for a long time, is NXT a third brand or is it developmental? And I think Vince has brought some clarity to that now, and he said it's developmental. It's there to develop stars, and it's not there to be a third brand. It's there to, be developmental. And so, we've got all these new faces that have, really come through. And in all fairness, because it's on TV, we're getting Riddle, we're getting AJ Styles, we're getting names going down to work with that young talent. Riddle's gone down to help, put over MSK even more. Grayson Waller's being put over by AJ. Even if he's not beating AJ, is just being in segments with him is huge. So I like the fact that we've got that clarity now. I think that's cool. I don't see it as Triple H's legacy being ripped up or anything. I just see it that Vince knows what he wants. He wants big guys. He wants big guys. He wants attractive women that can wrestle. He wants the show to be developmental. I think if Triple H had been doing that all along, I don't think Vince would have changed it. There wouldn't have been a need to have changed it, but unfortunately, Black and Gold NXT was not doing what Vince wanted it to do. I don't think Vince has been massively impressed with some of the recent call-ups. I think, Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, we were fans of them, but they weren't what Vince was looking for. And I suppose it's a problem, isn't it, really? Because we can love them and think they're amazing, but if Vince doesn't see it or isn't taken with them, then, it's probably understandable that he changes NXT more to suit his taste. Nice suplex there by Hangman. This pace is very impressive. I don't know if they can keep this up. But honestly, if they're going to be able to keep this pace up, this is going to be better than the first match. Hangman charging over, drop toe hold as Hangman goes face first into the steel steps. Bryan Danielson rolls back into the ring. He's down on his knees, arms in the air. We've been outside the ring, inside the ring. We've seen, people driven into steps, into ring posts. We've seen suicide dive that Bryan Danielson was able to step out of the way of. There's blood coming down the face of Hangman. Hangman's busted open. So Bryan Danielson on the outside, throwing in some strikes. So TBS picture-in-picture is what we're going to. Already 14 minutes into the show. And we are just seeing Bryan Danielson getting back into the ring. Referee on the outside. So surely the ref should be counting at this point. He's having a look. Right, he's having a look to see if he needs to stop the match. So I don't mind that. But just don't stay out the ring too long. Just get back in the ring and start the count. If you've made your decision that the match can continue, then get back in the ring and start counting. And in all fairness, the referee has. The referee is back inside the ring. Danielson goes out to get some water. Referee is counting. This is fine. This is fine. I ain't got no issue with this whatsoever. That blood's really starting to come down now. And Danielson's got Hangman's face, smashing it off the top step. He's grabbing Hangman and hurls him into the barricades, into the railings, I should say. Hangman breaks the count, gets back out the ring as Danielson in control. Surely this won't go an hour, considering what else is on the cards. I don't know, to be honest, and also the pacing of this match is so much quicker that he's got his hands. He kind of had his hands right on the forehead, and he was kind of like pulling it. The ref counting, it's already better than the first match, which I thought was beep. Yeah, I didn't mind that first match. I thought the first match was good, but the ref thing really bugged me. But yeah, I mean, this has been better so far. What just happened in that break there? You can of course make the argument that surely they've been outside the ring right now longer than 10 seconds. But you could say that about a lot of matches. I don't mind as long as the referee is staying busy and is doing stuff and the count is broken. So Hangman is down in the corner. Danielson's got his arm out, pointing over towards Hangman, who, as we said, is busted open. Bryan putting his hands on the ref. It's a dangerous thing to do. Headbutt by Bryan Danielson. And again. Just firing in. Headbutts to Hangman. It's kind of shocking to see headbutts, really. It's something that you really, really don't see. And you certainly don't see it in WWE. Headbutts are just not a thing. I think the only person I've seen do a headbutt in recent years in WWE would be McIntyre with the Glasgow Kiss thing. And he doesn't do it very well. Front face lock. Hangman against the ropes. Danielson. Lovely suplex. And now full mount and throws in strikes. Goes for the armbar. Couldn't quite get it. Hangman does link the arms together. Yeah, and look at that. He's got the head X, but look at that. I love that. I love how he's got the arm and the head kind of exposed, and he's just firing in shots. I love that. Big chop coming in. The Ty Conti match was insane. This match will go 60 minutes. The judge's decision, whatever it's going to be, will be controversial and cause arguments. Paul White taking notes. I did notice that. Lovely reversal there by Hangman, planting Bryan Danielson. These two both down, and look at that. Look at all the blood that's on Danielson. Oh, man, this is good. This is really good. It's really good. Like, the lengths they're pushing themselves to. So we got Danielson over in the corner. Big chop coming in by Hangman. Another chop coming in. 20 minutes gone so far. Headbutt by Danielson. Big kick coming in again. Reverse. Danielson goes in the corner. Hangman goes after him. Big clothesline. Duck underneath, looking for a... Oh, went for a German, but Hangman on his feet. Went for a lariat. German by Hangman. Bridges. And, of course, Danielson kicks out. Danielson kicks out. Paul White writing some notes. There's a fan with a cardboard box over his head. What is the point in that? Who knows? Perhaps it's a gimmick. Perhaps he's trying to get himself over. Perhaps he's going to be AEW's green shirt guy. Cardboard box head. Kicks coming in by Danielson. Hangman back up to his feet. Another kick coming in. Forearm strike by Hangman. Danielson with a forearm strike of his own. Big boot by Hangman. Danielson both on their feet. Danielson wobbling. Hangman going for a suplex. Danielson trying to counter. Hangman suplexes. Oh, I love that spot. I love that spot. I love that spot. And into the ring post. I love that spot. That's a spot you don't see that often because it's actually quite dangerous, but it's where the one wrestler suplexes the other outside the ring. They land on the edge of the ring and they continue to go to the outside. Again, it's not a spot you see that often because it can go wrong so easily with the ropes and your neck and yeah, not great. But these two just did it and it was really good. I got respect for that spot. Do you know what I love about that spot? Is you see people doing that all the time. You see wrestlers going for a suplex by the edge of the ropes. And very, very rarely does it actually result in it going that way. It always tends to result in the person being suplexed into the ring, not out of the ring. It always gets teased. But rarely do they actually execute that, go over the ropes to the outside. So to actually see that is really cool. Both wrestlers on the outside. Danielson getting thrown into the ring. I mean, it's kind of gritty and there's some nice wrestling in there. But I mean, this is high impact moves, blood, ring posts, steps. It's not like intricate wrestling, submission holds, reversals. There is a bit of that. And I love seeing Hangman doing the jumping jacks. What I like is that's become a real taunt, hasn't it? That's become a real taunt in these matches. If you're leading, then the jumping jacks... It's kind of your way of showing that you're in control. I like that. That's like a nice little storytelling kind of technique. If you're dominating the match, winning the match, you can do some jumping jacks and the crowd will know that's your way of saying, I'm in control of this. And they've set that up, even in the previous match as well. Bryan Danielson was doing them. So we've got Bryan Danielson on the outside. There's blood on his arm. I mean, it's not even his blood. Hangman stepping outside the ring. If this is going to go an hour and the pace is going to increase and we're going to get near falls, this is, for me, better than that first match. And would be right up there with Danielson and Omega. I think actually is Danielson bleeding now. I thought all that blood was coming from Hangman, but Danielson is saying he doesn't want the help of the official. He gets back into the ring. Danielson is down and he's got blood coming down his face and he's screaming for Hangman to bring the fight. I think he got in, the chat saying he got in just in time for the 10 count. Where does Bryan Danielson go if he loses this? I don't think it'll be a problem for him. It won't be a problem if he loses this. There'll be feuds that he can have, and who knows? I mean, they could put him in a tag team. They could put him in a feud with someone like Sammy Guevara. So there's things that they could have him do. Right, we've got strikes coming in, blood on both guys. It's really unusual. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw Bryan Danielson bleeding. So both of these guys giving their all. I do think there is a slight problem, just a little problem with AEW giving us blood quite a bit. Headbutt there by Bryan Danielson. Headbutt coming back by Hangman. These two exchanging headbutts back and forth. Hangman just smashing his head repeatedly into Bryan Danielson. I was trying to tell if that cut was really open, really deep, or if it was just some of his hair that was there. But there seemed to be like a really big wound. Oh. Man, it was like a Spanish fly move. It was a high impact move. Again, you know, there's very little like rest holds or anything. The action is insane. Look at that move. We're back from picture in picture. Yeah, I think there's too much blood. When you see blood now, I mean, like, we got it on Rampage with the street fight. Obviously, we had it with Britt Baker. We get bloods, you know, we've seen it with Moxley quite a few times. It's not losing its impact. My point is that it could. Beautiful work by Hangman. Grabs Bryan Danielson, chucks him back into the ring. He's got him in position for the buckshot. So Bryan Danielson is down. Here we go. He's going for the buckshot. Danielson collapses down again. Love that spot. Love that spot. I love that spot when they're just not strong enough to even receive the move. So, you know, if he'd connected with that, then I think we would have seen Hangman win. 1, 2, inside cradle, kick out. Lovely, looking for the crossface, the label. He's trying for the label. He's just grabbing whatever he can, Danielson. Lovely label. Label applied by Danielson, middle of the ring. I don't know why. The only problem is, because of the judges, I've got it in my head that this ain't going to finish. Like, I'm not expecting this to finish now, so I am expecting him to get out of this. Hangman is able to get out. Dave, you answered my question before I even got typing it. I was going to ask, do you think AEW overuses blood? Yeah, I think it's okay. It's really borderline at the moment. I think it should just be so fleeting. I think it's just because we saw it in that street fight on Friday, which is fine. I mean, it made the street fight really. And I don't even know if it was meant to be in the street fight, to be honest. But I think if you was booking and you knew that you was doing this match and you knew this match was going to be blading, there was going to be blood, then I don't think you should have had the blood on Friday. Here we go, buckshot. Danielson moves out the way. Knee strike by Danielson. That could be the finish, but I don't think it will be. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out by Hangman. I like that. I really like that. That spot right there just takes us to another level. That spot right there is what gets the crowds. The crowd are there anyway. Yeah, the crowd are loving it. Crowd are loving it. So that was a buckshot that missed, and Danielson able to get the flying knee. We've seen him win with so many flying knees. And we've got "This is awesome" chance now. It doesn't make any difference to me if this goes to a draw. I don't care. What you need to, for me, I love watching like the wrestling and the story, and there's like spots and things in the matches that I really enjoy, and you know, seeing them do those suplexes by the ropes and go over the ropes to the outside, seeing that spot there, which, you know, I really enjoyed. Seeing the Buckshot Lariat where Danielson like slumped to his knees because he wasn't even strong enough to receive it. Like, these spots are, and these moments, and the pacing of the match, and the selling, and the bloods, and all this kind of stuff. Like, I this is what I'm watching for. Like, the result is the result. But look at the journey, man. Look at the journey. He's trying to pick up Danielson. He's got him up. Oh, lovely pile driver by Danielson. 1, 2, grab the rope. Oh, kick out. I thought he was close enough to grab the rope there, Hangman. He went for the kick out instead. That was a beautiful pile driver. That was a great pile driver. This could be a 5-star, said Horatio Mind. I could watch these two all day. Justin says same. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Honestly, if we go another half an hour, I ain't, you know, I had no complaints about the draw in the first one. That was never my problem. My problem wasn't that it went to a draw. My problem was, like, the ref doing that stupid stuff on the outside. This is a better match for me. I think this is better than their first one. Kicks coming in by Danielson. Danielson going over to the corner. Telling Hangman to get up to his feet. He's going to go over, and he gets picked up. Powerbomb. Powerbomb by Hangman. Danielson was going for that running, flying knee by the looks of it. Triangle. Triangle applied. Danielson with a triangle, just as Hangman seemed to be going for the pin. Triangle applied. Elbows to the head. Hangman picking up Danielson. Danielson grabbing the leg. Knee bar. Heel hook. Yeah, he's got a lot of submission holds. And again, the pacing. Right now, strikes coming into the side of the head by Hangman. It is. It's a war. It's a war. It's two wrestlers warring to figure out who is the best. It's everything I love about pro wrestling. Everything I love. Hangman on the outside, and he is in position. Buckshot's coming up. He's in position. We've got Danielson curled over after being suplexed, and we've got... He's going to hit this, surely. And he does! Here we go! 1, 2... Hangman wins. Hangman wins clean. There is no draw. There's no need for the judges. The judges were a swerve. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's better than the first match. It's better than the first match. There's nothing I would criticize. The pacing is great. The judges were a swerve. Loads of great spots in there that I enjoyed. I love it. I love it. I love that match. I love that match. James said, you know what? Credit where it's due. What a match. Judges were a swerve. I love it. Ron said, it's a great story. It's a great gimmick. Let Him In said, that was amazing. So we didn't need the judges. I like that. A lot of people were against the judges. A lot of people didn't want the judges. A lot of people didn't want them to be around. And I didn't really mind the judges. I'm not crazy for the judges, but I didn't mind the judges because we have seen judges in wrestling history before. But I don't know. I think I could understand that if it went to the judges, whatever they decided was going to be controversial and wouldn't satisfy. Do you know what I mean? If they pick Hangman, then it's not going to be satisfactory, is it? If they picked Danielson. If they pick Danielson, then there might be a little hint of, was Hangman robbed and did the heel pay the judges off? And maybe you could have done a little story like that. But I love the fact we didn't need him. I totally would have took another 5 minutes though. I think another 5 minutes with maybe just a couple more false finishes, just a couple more spots where. That buckshot that missed and Danielson hit the flying knee. I kind of feel like maybe you could have just put a couple more of those types of moments in, just built and teased that drama a little more. Like you could have done that. Maybe if the buckshot had got hit, not out of nowhere, but he was waiting for it for quite a while. And as I said, as it finished, it's like, surely he hits it this time. He'd already missed it like twice. So I was like, surely he hits it this time. And he did, and he gets the win. I mean, there's really not much to criticize. I think it's brilliant. I think I keep saying it, but for me, I think it's better than the first. I want to see big Paul White's notes. Get in your scores. What did you think of it? What did you think of that match? J.A. said 5 out of 5. Austin said 4.5, but it could go up to 4.75. Charlotte says 4.5. 4.75, 4.394, 4.75. There was something minimal missing, and I don't know what it is. I think, for me, the only thing that I would say is I would have done more of those false finishes. I kind of feel like when they did that false finish, that when they did the missing of the buckshot into the flying knee, that's when they got their first "This is awesome" chant. So for me, that really is, if you was to look at a graph of the match, that to me is a real peak. It's a real high spot moment. And I think they didn't really get too many of those. They did some lovely groundwork. They got the blood. There was some great moments. They kind of did all the foundation work. And then they only really peaked out like once or twice. You probably could have chucked in a couple more peaks. And actually, I'd imagine the peaks are probably one of the easiest things to do. The hardest thing is to set the pace, keep it engaging, kind of go through, well, not necessarily go through the motions, but, just run the match, but keep the crowd there. That's hard. To do 20-odd minutes of that is hard. But then, to miss a buckshot and get hit with a flying knee, like, that's pretty easy. That's pretty simple stuff. But that is the icing, the cherry on top that got "This is awesome" chants. I feel like they needed more of those. Just another couple. Maybe if Bryan had kicked out of that one. What if Hangman had gone for a one-winged angel? What if Hangman had gone for a one-winged angel at the end of that match, which is Kenny Omega's move, and it would have called back to the fact he beat Kenny and now he's going to use his move, and what if he went for that? Like, I kind of feel like you could have gone down that road and maybe drawn a little more out at the end. I think it's that that's missing from the match. For me, I would say I'm probably with Austin. It's probably for me 4.5, but on reflection, it could raise to a 4.75. My gut says 4.5. On reflection, it could go to a 4.75. But I think maybe just because they didn't get more peaks at the end, then I think that's what was missing. Because I agree with Moldy as well. It does feel like there's just a little something But it's tiny. It's tiny. There's a little something, just a real little something that's not there. But as a wrestling contest, and that's exactly what it was, as a battle between two guys to see who is the best. It's just brilliant, isn't it? It's just brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it could raise to 475 because that little, like, just giving us that little more at the end. That's why I said I could have took another 5 minutes. Could have took another 5 minutes. Oh, good. I didn't even get a chance to type MJF. CM Punk's come running down. MJF and Punk. I don't know who MJF was battling. Look at CM Punk's shirt. Do you remember we were talking about Rose Namajunas? What's Punk doing? GTS on Sean Dean. CM Punk attacked Sean Dean, which means that Sean Dean gets the win by DQ. So CM Punk's come down and he's cost MJF the match. Anyway, do you remember Rose Namajunas was going to be facing that Danielle Lloyd's? Is it Danielle Lloyd? Danielle Kelly. And that MMA show, that was Fury, and CM Punk does the commentary for it, and he's wearing the shirt tonight. Fury Professional Grappling. That's cool. How are you going to fight for a title when you keep losing? MJF lost to Sean Dean. I guess that means MJF is an extra. Question, is it better than Volta versus Dragunov? No. No, I think I preferred Volta Dragunov, but it's very close. That's why, like, if Volta Dragunov is 5 and Danielson Hangman's like 4.75, that would make sense. I mean, my gut was 4.5, but as I agree with Austin, it could raise to a 4.75. I don't think there's half a star difference between them thinking about it, so maybe 4.75. MJF said to CM Punk, I make you relevant. Ron said it's a great start for AEW on TBS. You're not the guy you used to be. You're not the savior. But do you know who is? Maxwell, Jacob, Friedman. Do you think PG Punk chant? Do you think you're Roddy Piper? MJF said, unlike you, Piper was talented enough to main event a WrestleMania. It's a good line. Fair play. And MJF, like, the crowd love it, and MJF then immediately tells them to shut up. Unless I'm shown proper respect around here, maybe I will main event a Mania too. It's good, man. It's brilliant. Really good from MJF. CM Punk said, all I'm trying to do is kick your ass. It's not needed. CM Punk said, if you think the grass is greener on the other side, then go over there and main event night 4 of the buy one, get one free extravaganza. It's not needed. I mean, I liked MJF's lines because they weren't shots at WWE. That's actually really weak from Punk, in my opinion. It plays to that crowd, but... it's going to be CM versus Wardlow. Wardlow face turn incoming. You wouldn't catch the head of the table talking about AEW. I mean, they're taking a shot at WWE doing buy one, get one free on tickets. They're running a 100,000-seater stadium 2 nights in a row. Like, Jesus, talk about the little kid picking on the big kid. Do you know what I mean? Their biggest show, isn't it? Our Thrash, 20,000. I don't know, man. It plays to the AEW audience. The AEW audience love it. Vince is living rent-free in some of these people's heads. Do you know, I've had a lot of praise for CM Punk. I actually think CM Punk's done really well on the mic and has really schooled MJF at times. And there, I actually think it's the reverse. I think MJF gave some great lines about WrestleMania and actually said, like, you know, you got upset when I compared myself to Roddy Piper. Are you just upset that he headlined a WrestleMania and you didn't? And then, MJF talking about how maybe he'll go and headline a WrestleMania unless he gets the proper respect that he deserves. So I kind of, like, all of that was fine. It was great. I mean, I like it because it felt significant because obviously we know MJF's contract's up and there's lots of talk about a bidding war and that WWE are interested and there's a bit of realism there and you kind of feel like, oh, this is good. I feel like I'm watching something significant. And then that buy one, get one free extravaganza thing. It's just cheap. But hey. Head of the table has got a needle mover shirt. Where did that come from? They both take shots at each other. Nah, it's got nothing to do with AEW. That needle mover shirt has got nothing to do with AEW. That's chat amongst the fans and about, you know, who moves the needle for WWE. Ain't got nothing to do with AEW. I mean, you can make connections and say that it does if you want to. And make out that that's a shot at AEW, but there's so much focus on ratings, and there's so much talk about who moves the needle for WWE. I don't see that as an AEW shot. You can make it out to be one if you want to. I don't see it as that. Wait for the next pay-per-view from AEW to get Punk versus MJF. Truth hurts. It's a fact. Truth doesn't hurt. I just think it makes AEW look small. As I said, WrestleMania is going to be a 2-day event, 100,000. WWE are off focusing on themselves, doing whatever. Like, it's not really necessary. I mean, I watched that, and, I just want to enjoy it, but them taking shots at WWE, it feels like we should be past that point now, to be honest. Doesn't feel like we need to still be doing that. I mean, like Cody breaking the throne, and you know what I mean? Like, there's been so many little references. It kind of feels petty, and it feels like something they were doing at the start. This feels like AEW should be better than that now. They should have like graduated from that now. So the fact they're still doing it is a bit cringe, to be honest. I find that cringe. I think you've upset some people. Like I give a flip. Honestly, I'm sharing my honest opinion. I'm telling you, it was embarrassing. I'm someone that watches WWE and I watch AEW. I watch both, and I criticize both shows on their own merit. So I thought that CM Punk's done really well in the past. And I thought that his interactions with MJF, his kill shots, some great lines. I mean, I didn't even mind when he said that he was like a less popular Miz or whatever. I didn't even mind that line. But yeah, come on, to be pulling out this WrestleMania line, it's unnecessary. Going Ghost said, Days, if you had to face one of these in a UFC fight, who would you face? Anderson Silva, John Jones, or your dong? Anderson Silva's maybe my favorite. I mean, I love Bisping, of course, but that's the English man in me. Loving my fellow countrymen. So, but actual fighting wise, actual like watching compete, I love Anderson Silva. So, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to face him. I'd want to watch him. John Jones is arguably the GOAT. I don't know. I think it'd probably be funnier if I faced your dong, wouldn't it? I think our UFC community would probably appreciate that the most. Right, here's Jericho. I don't know what this is for. I don't remember seeing that he's got a match. Ron said, let's not forget about WWE in the 90s going after WCW with Fake Razor and Fake Diesel. Yeah, but they also said they learned to not do that and focus on themselves. Don't forget, at that time they were doing that, they were also losing. When they started to focus more on themselves and focus on developing The Rock, developing Stone Cold, developing Triple H, rather than putting out the Nacho Man and Billionaire Ted and doing those silly things, they started to turn it around. AEW's a really, really good show. This has been a great show. So it's just a criticism that they need to graduate from that. Right, I genuinely don't know what this is. This is something to do with Kingston, is it? Because I've seen these two on a collision course. Singing the song is cringe, says Humble Rumble. Right, here's Jericho. Let's see what Jericho's got to say. What a historical night. So TBS logo's on the microphone as well. They've got, the little thing, the four sides. One side says TBS. Worth mentioning as well, the middle turnbuckle says TBS also. Notice that during the Bryan Danielson match. I've not been on TBS since April 7th. April 7th, 99. Losing to Booker T. And he cheated. So he's talking about 2.0 putting him down a few weeks ago. Obviously, he's been out on tour. Okay, so he wants to get his hands on 2.0. Here's 2.0 making their way out. I wonder where this is. Where's this heading? Oh, that Dusty guy's in the crowd. Remember the guy that dresses up as Dusty Rhodes? I just spotted him. Okay, here's 2.0. Terrence and Phillip. That's a great line. Ladies and gentlemen, Terrence and Phillip. That's a great line. That's great. Terrence and Phillip. I can't pay attention to what you're saying because I can't stop looking at your square head. It's like a post-it note. Nice. Are you watching Battle of the Belts? Yeah. We'll do that. So I've heard it's only on for about an hour, isn't it, on Saturday? They're showing the cardboard box guy in the crowd. It says underrated written on the box. Right, we're getting okay. We've got square head, pinhead chants at the moment. I'm not. Every Volta match is perfect. Dude is overrated. It's not WWE's match of the year. Okay. Joseph says, was David Smith in the audience? I thought I could see him. What? D.H. Smith? I haven't spotted him. Right, here comes Santana, Ortiz, Eddie Kingston. I thought there was tension between Kingston and Jericho. So, another street fight. Okay. The show was great until Jericho ruined it. Yeah, I didn't need that segment. I like the Terrence and Phillip line. Just showing Jake Atlas from last Monday on Dark. They don't normally show performances from Dark, do they? Jake Atlas is all elite. Here's Undisputed. The boys are back together. Jake Atlas, the NXT 1.0 guy. Yeah, the 1.0 guy. Yes, there was. Eddie didn't want Chris's help last week. They're hyping up Jake Atlas on Dark. His new name should be SpongeBob SquareHead. I'm amazed that Jericho didn't get that chant going, in all fairness. Adam Cole versus Jake Atlas. To remind Jake Atlas, I'm still the guy everyone's talking about. New year, same Adam Cole. So, Adam Cole against Jake Atlas. Okay, we are at the halfway point. I'm guessing we'll wait for the next commercial breaks. It can't be that far away. I think it's normally about 8 minutes past, isn't it, or something? Here's Wardlow. This is, another Wardlow special. Another Wardlow special versus, I'm guessing, a jobber of some sort. Jake Atlas is going to squash Adam Cole. I think AEW should move Rampage to Saturdays, make it 2 hours, because right after SmackDown, Friday's focused on SmackDown, so it should move to Saturday. I don't know what time slot they've got, to be honest. It might be that TNT have got loads on a Saturday, so it could be really difficult for them to do that. I think Tony Khan would definitely increase it to 2 hours because that would mean more ad revenue. So I think Tony Khan would be willing to do that. What is this guy's trunks? What is this guy's trunks? He's got like a red dot around by his bum hole. And I think his dong is highlighted in red as well. Like, I don't understand his ring gear. What is his ring gear? Why has he got red dots on his private parts? Sean Spears has attacked. And so this dude picks him up. Boom. Power bombs him down. Days. It's a red dong. It's a red dong. Yes, it is. Boom. Ch. 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 Another one. Boom. The Power Bomb Symphony. Days Cole said in a promo that he will buy Atlas a one-way ticket back to Orlando. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, that's where NXT is. So he's kind of saying, I'll send you back to NXT. Boom. Maybe it's where he lives as well, in all fairness. Probably a lot of them do live in Orlando. Man, another one. How many is this now? Either way, it's over. 2, 3. Your dong versus red dong. Yeah, I want to go red. Dude, you can't be saying that to people. Yeah, I want to go red. I was referring to an article from Wrestling Inc. WWE launches new Needle Mover t-shirt based on Roman Reigns' jab at CM Punk. I mean, I don't know that it is based on that. I mean, I don't recall the promo that he's fired a jab at CM Punk with. But to me, all I can do is tell you that when I saw that t-shirt, I didn't see it as a shot to AEW. I didn't read it that way. It's just, there's been so much talk about who moves the needle for WWE that it came across that way to me. I mean, if it is a jab at AEW, then I'll be quite happy to condone that as well and say, what's the point in doing that? Stay in your own lanes. I'm a big fan of that. But all I can tell you is that I saw that shirt. At no point did I look at it and think that was a shot at AEW. That didn't even cross my mind. Genuinely. Joel said, I like this gimmick, but I'm keen to see what happens next week. I think the Punk match will push Spears versus Wardlow feuds. Is Ty Conti on the show tonight? I don't think so. We've got a women's match. We've got our one women's match. And it is the final of the TBS tournament. Right, get in your halftime scores. Get in your halftime scores. What do you think of the show? Days, are you a fan of milk? Not massively. I don't mind it. I don't mind milk. I'm not against it. I just don't necessarily ever really drink it. I tend to use it in porridge, of course. But I don't really have like teas or milk in my coffee or just drink glasses of milk. So, no. I only tend to have it on once every few days when I have porridge. Justin says 8. Moldy said 7.5. Jason with an 8. Bonkers with a 6. Justin with an 8. Harry with a 7.75. Carrie with a 7. Rashmine with an 8.5. Austin says 7.5. 8, 7.5, 8, 6, 8. It was brought down by Jericho. Craig with a 7. Daniel said, you'll be happy to know that Serena Deeb is doing a sit-down interview with JR tonight. I am happy to know that. I'm very happy to know that. Halftime score, 8, 6, 8, 7, 8. Book more than one women's match. TK. 8.16, 7, 7.75. 4 out of 5. Need a women's match and a women's promo. AEW fan says 10 out of 10. Shola says 7. 8.5. Airflow says 7.25. David says 8.25. 8.8. 7.775. She came with a 3. What do you think of Rick Steiner getting involved after the match? Hopefully the Steiners go into the Hall of Fame now. I think it's disappointing that he wasn't referenced. I mean, the first I heard he was even there was when I heard that he'd got into the ring after. So the fact that we didn't see it on the show makes me think there's probably still some beef. It's probably like if things had been resolved, then they probably would have shown him getting in the ring, and like would have shown it at the end of the broadcast. But all we saw was afterwards. So I can only presume that there's still problems. But yeah, I thought it was cool, and I liked Tommaso going over and shaking his hand and everything. And it's just a shame they didn't have him. You know, I mean, could have seen someone open the little door and him come down and embrace. Like, it would have been a brilliant ending to the show. But I said at the time, like, it really feels like they're trying to move Bron Breakker away from the kind of Steiner name in a way. I mean, they easily could have called him, you know, Bron Steiner or Rex Steiner. They easily could have done that. They could have had his dad appear before now, or they could have had his dad in the ring afterwards. But it just seems like they're really distancing him from that, or at least putting some distance between him and the Steiner family. Which, you know, might not be a bad thing, because it means he gets over on his own, rather than being, you know, Rick Steiner's son. He's Bron Breakker. Right, Jade Cargill making her way down. Not a great match that she had with Thunder Rosa the other day. So, Jade Cargill in the ring. We got to see her daughter. I think because her daughter is there, that makes me think Jade Cargill's winning this. Ruby Soho. Good jacket. It's got a picture of Jade Cargill on the back, and it says, "God save that B-word." Jade standing in the corner with her arms folded. I really like Ruby Soho's ring gear. She's too green. So much for a workers title. A cartoon idea. A mermaid detective, says William. Yes, good idea. Sasha has got a sprained knee. Corbett said, Jade has said she didn't want her child exposed to the business at a young age, so it's clearly a change of mind for such a big moment for her. Yeah, I'm heavily leaning towards her winning this. Like, her daughter being there to see her win this championship. I don't think she'd bring her daughter to see her lose. Unless she's teaching her a life lesson. Sometimes things just don't go your way. Keep up by Jade Cargill. I really like Jade Cargill though. She is green, but I think that she can get somewhere. She's got a great look. She's got a brilliant look. I love the white hair. And obviously, you know, really impressive height, really impressive physique. And the way she carries herself as well. Her promos are not bad. And the way that she carries herself, you know, like, you know, she stands kind of in the corner. She's a bit China-esque. Dropkick by Ruby Soho. Just need to get the, just need to improve the wrestling. But a good chunk of this is your look, isn't it? It's how you look. And I think from that point of view, she's got it. Stomping away by Jade. Elbow to the back by Jade. She might want to tie her hair back or something during the matches. I don't know. I've seen her a few times having to, like, just move it out of her eyes. And again. I've seen her, like, having to mess with her hair, like, at least 4 or 5 times already. Up top. Ruby grabs her arm drag off that middle rope. Ruby should have worn her Bucky onesie. Of course, I was a mermaid of the night and you was fishing off the pier. Cool. Who's come down? Is this Thunder and Mercedes Martinez? Okay, so Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez have come bursting down. Ruby Soho is outside the ring. Jade's on the edge of the ring. Aubrey's checking on Ruby. Okay, so Aubrey's checked on her. She's getting back into the ring. Ruby going over to Jade in between the ropes. Knee strike. Jade has got Ruby. Picks up Ruby. Ruby on the edge of the ring. Kicks at the leg of Jade. And again, these kicks are not great. Some of these strikes are really weak looking. Yeah, some of these strikes are just really off the mark. She kind of like threw a shot like this and she was kind of like hitting over here. And I think she was trying to make it look like she was hitting her head. Into the ring post. I do like the way she like poses and taunts and shows off. Like, she's brilliant at that. Striking, not great. 1987 had 15 seconds to build a feuds. Keep in mind, TBS title is only a mid-card title. They can afford to put it on up-and-comers. Jade has trouble finding her spots. Looks like she's just always one step behind the call. Where is AEW tonight in the USA? Where does it show it? It's on TBS. If Thunder Rosa couldn't have a good match with Jade, then Ruby Soho isn't going to have a good match with Jade. Terrible looking strikes that can just take a lot of the air out of the match. Yeah, I mean, it does. It makes it really difficult to invest in the match. Push-ups by Jade. Strike to the midsection by Ruby. Kick to the back of the head by Jade. I only said the Rampage thing because of a rating, and it won't beat SmackDown in rating because it is an hour on Friday. So if they move to Saturday, it'll get more rating, and making it 2 hours would help. Yeah, I mean, it all makes sense. I mean, Tony Khan, I think, would be open to do it. I mean, I think Tony's fully aware that time slot is not brilliant, but I think it's the only available time slot. Like, I don't know that TNT have got a Saturday time slot that's 2 hours that they could give to AEW. That's, I think, the problem. I mean, I have no idea what's on TNT on a Saturday. Maybe it's some sport of some kind. I don't know. Back elbow. Against the ropes goes Ruby. Kick. Against the ropes again goes Ruby. I tell you what, it's going to be really interesting, actually. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about what the ratings could be. It's going to be really interesting to see what the rating's going to be on this show. Really interesting. On a completely different network. I mean, it feels like a good Dynamite. Like, that first match, which took up a good chunk of the show, was really good. Really good. Boom. Down goes Jade. Ruby going for the cover. Jade shoulder up. I don't know if they botched that. Aubrey wouldn't count it. Nice kicks coming in by Ruby. They're better. Looks like she's actually landed them. Back kick. Jade goes down to one knee. Ruby going against the ropes. Jade picks up Ruby. She's got her up on her shoulder. Shoulder breaker by Jade Cargill. Middle of the ring. Charges over. Big boot. Ruby goes down. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by the runaway Ruby Soho. It will probably be very similar to TNT. It's still on cable in the US. The show will end with the House of Black revealing themselves. They are trying to make this a much bigger than normal Dynamite. Yeah, I do agree with that, David. I do think they are trying to do that, yeah. I mean, it's a really easy watch. It's a really easy watch. I mean, even this match, even though you're looking at this match and you're like, it's not the best match, but it is for a championship. The winner of this will be crowned the first ever TBS champion. So, I mean, even if the match itself is not, all that amazing, it's still got something pretty big riding on it. Winner of this will be, and who knows how long the TBS championship will be around for, how prestigious it will be. So whoever becomes the first champion of it, I feel, is quite significant. Right, Jade Cargill's manager is out of there. So he's been thrown from ringside. Jade has got Ruby. Picks her up. Ruby reverses. 1, 2. Kick out by Jade. Lovely kick. I love that kick by Ruby. Jade goes down. 1, 2. Oh, that was great. The way she sold that was brilliant. I'm going to give Jade credit there. She got kicked by Ruby, and she just kind of just went down. It was like a timber moment. Started to arc over and just went. Yeah, do you know what I loved about it as well is that I'd have to see a replay, but I feel like Ruby went to grab her because she wanted to do another move or something. She couldn't get her because Jade was gone, and Jade went down. It really, like, from a selling point of view, that was great. That was really great. I love like, don't tend to see that too much. You don't tend to see like someone trying to grab their opponent after just striking them, but the opponent's like out cold and goes down. So Jade went down, and because she had just gone out seemingly cold, it kind of had a 3 count written on it. When it got a 2, kind of elevated the match. It's a really good spot, that was. Some chops coming in by Ruby. Ruby's gone over, and she's got Jade on the top. Tries to throw in a strike. Jade blocks it. Jade throwing back strike of her own. Ruby's going up top. She's trying to grab Jade. She's on that middle rope. Jade's going all the way up top. Ruby, they're kind of trapped a little bit. It's a bit not true. 1, 2, 3, and Jade Cargill wins. Jade Cargill wins. She manages to hook Ruby. Kind of, Cargill tried to go up to the top rope. She couldn't quite make it. And she ends up hitting that move. I don't know what that move's called. But she ends up hitting it off the middle. It's a little botchy. It didn't look great. It's a big enough move for her to get the victory. And her AEW record is 23-0 now. And there's her daughter, a big smile on her face as Jade Cargill holds up that TBS championship. I mean, she's got the look. Yeah, she's got the look. Her child is happy. Okay, JR sitting down with Serena Deeb. My intention from the start was respect. The best female wrestler in North America. I don't know who's over in Japan, in all fairness. You're taking this awfully personally. JR said, and I can't put my finger on why. Do you think there's any woman on my level? JR said, right now I would say no. I've paid enough dues for every woman in that locker room. God, I love this woman. I love this. Give her all the belts. Give her all the belts. Create a new belt. I'm going to take 17 years of anger and frustration out on your ass. World Tag Titles, Lucha Bros against Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. That's our main event. But coming up next, we've got Malachi Black against Bryan Pillman. Oh, I love her. I love Serena Deeb. Flipping love Serena Deeb. I think Serena used Jericho's hair dye as self-tanner. Right, here's Malachi. Malachi Black versus Bryan Pillman Jr. Bryan Pillman Jr. I hope Jurassic Express win. They're not calling them Jurassic Express, are they? on the graphics, they're calling them Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, which I do think is very interesting. I think Jade will beat Britt Baker for the belt. What about you? Don't know. I think we've got a long way to go before we get to that. Plus, aren't they both heels? So, unless someone turns, then I don't think she will. I mean, they could do heel versus heel, but here's Malachi making his way down. Malachi's music is perfect. Yeah, Brent, shout out to you, dude. I hope you are well. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's great music. I love his entrance gear as well. Sitting in the ring. We still don't know much about him. We don't get many vignettes. We don't get much backstory. There's not much to hang your hat on. The House of Black starts tonight, says Daniel. Is Jade going to be made the female version of Goldberg? A lot to compare. An upstart company going after Vince, undefeated and very physically intimidating. Well, I mean, I don't think she's as over as Goldberg, or anywhere near as over as Goldberg. I think people watch Jade, and I think there's some intrigue there because of her look. I think she feels like a star, but she doesn't feel like Goldberg level star. Who knows though? I mean, he got up to 170 odd, didn't he? 174, 176. She's on 23 or so. So who knows? As these, as the year goes by and she improves, she starts smashing women and whatever. The thing is, she does a lot of posing and a lot of promos and everything, whereas Goldberg just showed up, beat people and left, and he had that kind of cool factor. Jade has got a cool factor, but it's a different kind of cool, isn't it? I would love to see Pillman eventually turn into the loose cannon, says Wrestle with Andy. Julia is wearing a jacket. She never covers up like that. She's wearing a House of Black shirt. Shoulder tackle by Malachi. Could be an interesting development, actually, if she did join the House of Black. Could be quite interesting. Through the ropes goes Brian Pillman Jr. Vince is drooling over Jade. She is like a darker China. She's really cool. I really like her. I think that she's got loads of potential. She's not there now. I mean, we can all see what a striking's like. But you have to hope that every match she has, hopefully someone's giving her feedback points, and they're making little adjustments and changes and improvements. But her look, I mean, it's the look is so important. Again, I go back to Bret Hart. Bret Hart said that to be a great wrestler, it's 33% look, 33%. How you wrestle, and 33% your promo. Well, I think her looks as good as anything that's out there. I mean, she's big, looks strong, her hair is really striking. Her promos are decent as well. I mean, they're not 10 out of 10 promos, but it's not like she stumbles over her words or gets lost, or she's all right. She maybe needs him scripted. I don't think she could go out there and do what Jericho does or what MJF does, or she's not really known for that. But her delivery at this stage is fine. It's just the wrestling, in it, which I know is a massive part and certainly a big part in AEW. But that's something she's still new. That's something that I think should hopefully improve. So I agree. I bet Vince is looking at her and drooling. I bet he is. You know, she is the kind of person that he would love. I've only just realised she's wearing an eye patch. I mean, what did Malachi spit? Flipping acid. Right, is back in the ring. I don't know if we are back into the action. Brian Pillman with a kick to the midsection. Get Jade to go and train striking with the goat hook. Hey, do you know it's not a bad idea. That it's not a bad idea at all. If she could get as legit and really throw in her strikes and really throw in her moves like Hook does, I completely agree with that. Completely agree. I mean, listen, Taz must have taught Hook. Why can't Taz spend some time with Jade? You know, you've got someone there that's green. She's absolutely green. But she's also, you know, got bags of potential, and you can work with her. Mold her, and she's got some great people around that would help her. I mean, hopefully she's taking the initiative. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully she's looking to improve, and she's, you know, if she went up to Taz and asked if he could work with her, like, I think that'd be one of the best things she could do, because surely Hook learnt this stuff from his dad. Marina Shafir was victorious on Dark. Bobby Fish was victorious. Seeing Julia Hart. Here's Malachi. Going for his finishing move, but Brian Pillman with a strike. I will say this show has gone very quick. I mean, we've only got 28 minutes left. It's gone very fast. Clothesline. Pillman running over. Big boot by Malachi. What would you say is the worst WrestleMania match in history? I would say Undertaker Big Boss Man. Well, I mean, the ending, the hanging is awful and really distasteful. But I think actual match would probably be Vince against Brett. I think Vince against Brett is... I mean, Brett had a stroke and he just couldn't do anything anymore. And I remember watching it just thinking, like, what is this? What is this? I mean, the backstory made sense. It was the payback for the Montreal Screw job. I mean, it all makes sense as to why you would do the match. But it's bad. It's really bad. So, Malachi gets the win. He turns around, he's heading back. Julia Hart checking on Brian Pillman Jr. She looks at Malachi. Intimidated. Here's the Lucha Bros. They've got a match coming up. Lights out. Here we go. House of Black. Well, they're out for a while. Okay, Malachi. How did they get in the ring? What the flip? Right. Lights went out. Malachi was in the ring. Lucha Bros were out the ring. When they came back on, they'd swap places. Okay, Britt Baker is mocking Ruby Soho. You've never beaten Riho with or without their help. Britt attacking Ruby. Ruby was basically saying you need to go and prepare for Rio. Rio's here. Ruby's down. Okay. Friday night, Adam Cole takes on Jake Atlas. So that's on Rampage. There's been no build for this Battle of the Belts. Where's the Battle of the Belts matches? Daniel Garcia and 2.0 against Eddie Kingston and some people. Hook takes on Aaron Solo. Get a Hook match. It's worth tuning in just for a Hook match. Okay. Hook. Hook, stretch me if you can. Okay, so we just heard from Aaron Solo. Hook against Aaron Solo. I'm actually really looking forward to that. We got Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter taking on Rio and Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho. And Battle of the Belts. Britt Baker against Rio. Okay, is this going to be the Battle of the Belt stuff now? Yeah. Cody against Sammy for the TNT Championship. Oh, and next week, CM Punk Wardlow. So we got 2 matches. There'll probably be more than 2 matches, won't there? I know it's only an hour. Maybe there isn't. It's only an hour, that show, I think. Perhaps there's just them 2 matches. Don't know. Either way, we'll be doing it on Saturday. Powerhouse Hobbs against Dante Martin. Coming up next, 23 minutes to go. Lucha Bros versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus for the World Tag Team Championships. Serious question. How is Hook not on this show? He's on Rampage, isn't he? If you want to watch him, you got to tune into Rampage. Got to find ways of getting you to tune into Rampage. Lucha Bros versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Boom. Maybe the Briscoes debut. Did you see them on Twitter? I didn't see them on Twitter. I could believe that they do debut. We haven't had anything tonight, so I could believe that the Briscoes could be on this. Yeah. Will you do a watch along of the earliest game on the FA Cup on Saturday? I don't know. Whatever's set up is what we're doing. So whatever's set up on the channel. Days, can you download the Ms. Mail Man app? It's where you deliver mail to farm animals and deliver babies to Maurice. They've just added a new animal called a bunch of corn. It sounds boring. That does not sound like my kind of game at all. Days, it's not easy for WWE to fill out 2 nights of WrestleMania with 50,000+ and Omicron variant out there. Just an unnecessary dig. Yeah, well, I said my piece on it. I wasn't a fan of it. But that was a while ago now. That was a while ago. Johnny said, I really want to get a debut by the end of the night. Coach Co said, what do you call an unpredictable camera? A loose cannon. Days, I'm going to do a video with Wrestling Revolution Keaton on Monday. It's the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, and it's a part 2. Have fun. Won't make sense. Oh, I think that went. Oh, there. Yeah, won't make sense to debut the Briscoes until FTR is on the show, says Corvids. Days, I DM'd you something on Twitter. Check it out later. Okay. They've got a back and forth with FTR, and they said you're afraid to face us. Okay. Well, they could come out and call out FTR or something at the end of the show. I mean, don't need a debut. It's fine if we don't get one. I don't need a debut every show. This show's been solid. It's been good. I've enjoyed it. The show's gone fast. It's not dragged. I've not been sat here twiddling my thumbs, praying for it to end. So it's really not a problem. And if we don't get a debut, it's absolutely fine. I suppose just with a tag match, you do go, who would interfere in a tag match? And I suppose the Briscoes would be one of the first names to come to mind. Primo said, tonight's show's been all right. My satellite went out. I didn't get to see the first night on TBS. I guess YouTube is in my future, says Derek. It's been all right. It's been all right. Are you ready to admit that Windham isn't coming? I told you. Yeah, I know you told me. And it looks like you might have been wrong. We'll have to see. Look, we'll see how it goes. Christian making his way down. I'm pleased that you've admitted that you told me, though, because you wasn't admitting that earlier. So, there we go. It's in black and white, guys. Right there. A lot of people were saying I'm spreading fake news. First hour was great. Second hour has been all right. Daisy, are you feeling tired because you've been running through my mind all day? No, I've got great conditioning. I've got really great cardio. Oh, the Lucha Bros have gone back out to have their entrance. We're back again. Woo! Do you remember us from Just? Here we are again. Days, are you a fan of asteroids? Big fan. Like actual asteroids. Big fan. I feel like they probably do something important. You know, like bees. Unless after what happened, Malachi attacks and Brody debuts. That could happen only because of what happened earlier. Why are they coming back out again? Weren't they just in the ring? Yes, but they loved hearing their music. Here we go. Lucha Bros. Exactly. Austin has zero taste. Days, you, me, Austin, we can reserve a night stay in a haunted castle. No, thank you. I don't want to stay anywhere with Austin overnight. I don't care about the ghosts. When Lashley was WWE Champion, Raw drew a 1.8 consistently, but through Big E's reign, the rating couldn't break 1.6. Last night, Brock got 1.7. Thoughts? December is an awful month. It's an awful month. January is better. And I think that it's just really bad timing when Big E got his kind of title run was at the end of the year. When ratings, you know, people are focused on Christmas, families coming round, some of the shows aren't live. It's just not a good time, to be honest, to be like looking at ratings and judging on the ratings. I would imagine, was it a 1.7, was it? I mean, do you know, actually, I would argue that's not great. Considering it's the fallout from day one and Brock was advertised to be on the show and there was a big shock with Brock becoming champion, the fact that it did a 1.7 and we're kind of out of December now, I actually think that's maybe a poorer reflection of Brock than it is of Big E. So, yeah, I don't really think that whoever is champion makes that big of a difference. I mean, it could, you know, Brock being champion might, you know, ultimately, you know, draw some numbers if they use him on the show and they kind of build the show around him. But I don't think he's going to be on the show that much. He won't be on the show enough to build the show around him. So, I don't know. I don't know if you can really look at those ratings and really take too much out of, well, you know, we know that whoever's champion isn't like the main factor as to the number. So I don't really make that connection, to be honest. How do you think the ratings will do? Because there's a large amount of people who AEW reminding everyone it's now TBS. Many will still forget. Well, I mean, look, it's Wednesday. It's the same time slot. So if you tune into TBS and it's not there, I can't imagine there's going to be too many people that are going to be like, oh, it must not be on this week, and just not bother. I feel like, is TBS in more homes? See, what interests me is, will people tune in because it's the first one on TBS, they're expecting something big? And will it be a case that, they might pick up a few more casual fans than they did on TNT? I'm really interested in the number. I mean, my gut feeling is it'll be about the same. But I'm sure someone told me that TBS is actually in more homes. So, I don't know. I can't quite get a read of it because we haven't seen before. So, Chop coming in. Same time slot, different network. It's going to be a big number, that. It's going to be, well, not big as in like a huge number, but big as in everyone's going to want to know what it is. Brock was on the opening segment, and Raw is 3 hours. Big E was on Raw for more than Brock when he was champion. Big E's title reign didn't draw well. It's simple. Well, look, we have to agree to disagree. I don't think that. Did Big E move the needle? No, but then I don't really think we could have expected that to. I just don't think one person can necessarily have that much of an effect unless they're really a big star like Roman or like Brock. And judging by, if you're telling me it was 1.7 last night, that would suggest to me that even Brock didn't move the needle that much, up from a 1.6. I kind of feel like Big E's title run was fine. It was, for December, it was fine. Was it a draw? Was it bringing people in? No. But then I don't think any champion was really bringing people in. I certainly wouldn't look at Big E's title run and say it was a flat, it was a disaster. He's the reason that Raw wasn't drawing. I don't jump to that conclusion at all. Kick to the back. Top rope enziguri. I agree. I'm just saying that Big E's reign wasn't drawing well. It's awkward, the holding a hand stuff. Honestly, I don't like the Lucha Bros. I really struggle to even pay their matches attention. It's just not my style of wrestling. They're not my team. They're just high spots and just, I just don't like them. Jungle Boy on the outsides. That's nice. I like the running along the top rope by Fenix. That's cool. Picture in picture. So we've got Jungle Boy on the outside with Penta. He's stood him up. He's got him on the outside. Chop coming in. Jungle Boy goes down. Penta with Jungle Boy, chucking him back in the ring. We've got 12 minutes to go. I don't know if you are at picture in picture, aren't you? So you are still seeing this. Fenix planting Jungle Boy down. Bouncing off and splash him. Fenix grabbing the arm of Jungle Boy and nice. Elbows coming in. He's got the legs and stomping away on the midsection. So Fenix in control. Missile drop kick by Penta. Roman is going to get a big pop on SmackDown. Rumor is Seth was supposed to win the title until Brock was added. Penta's got Jungle Boy against the ropes. Kick coming into the legs. This is actually quite slow for the Lucha Bros. It's kind of quite a slow pace. Grabbing the arm as Jungle Boy was trying to make the tag. Strike to the back of the head by Penta. 10 minutes to go. Against the ropes goes Jungle Boy. Kick by Penta. Jungle Boy goes down. Penta goes over and mocks Luchasaurus. Goes for the cover. One count. Tags in Fenix. Jungle Boy in the corner. Oh, man, that chop was so loud by Fenix. It's like a gunshot going off. Days, it's a well-known fact that when Big E won the title, Monday Night Football returned, drawing 14 million this past Monday was the playoff final. Matt Striker and William Regal could be the new Rampage commentary team. Against the ropes goes Jungle Boy. Big clothesline, and Fenix gets turned inside out. He goes over, tags in Penta. Penta in the ring as Jungle Boy again trying to make that hot tag. Denied by Penta. Roll through. The hot tag's made. In comes Luchasaurus. Clothesline. Down goes Penta. Big boot to Fenix. Into the corner goes Penta. Into the other corner goes Fenix. Luchasaurus running over. Splashes into Penta. Splashes into Fenix. It's just going from corner to corner. Fenix moves out the way. Double clothesline. Both of the Lucha Bros go down. That's how you do a hot tag. It's a lost art, says Davids. Did you know if GCW is all the hype? I'm buying the next show. I'm very excited to watch it. Do you know if GCW is all the hype? I don't watch it, but I don't watch it. I know that I think James Chadwick watches it, and he's a big fan of it. So, yeah, I mean, look, if you've seen the clips and it appeals to you, then I'd imagine the show will be up your street. Penta gets 1, 2. Okay, so failed in their pin attempt there on Luchasaurus. Kick to the midsection. Did they tag? I don't even know if they tagged then. Penta seemed to go like that, and I think Fenix just got into the ring. I don't even think they tagged. Jungle Boy holding on to the leg of Penta. Luchasaurus with a big boot. Penta up on the shoulders. Jungle Boy goes over and 1, 2. Oh, kick out by Penta. An Oreo cookie is dehydrated milk slice. How many of you losers are going down in the last comment challenge, says Rye. Days, can I put a community members together in a romantic chat? Dates coming this Valentine's Day. I'm going to match everyone up. Do it. Do it. Who's the legal man? Do you know, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm guessing it's Penta. Penta and Luchasaurus? Nice. Canadian Destroyer. By Fenix. Pump handle. Driver. 1, 2. Kick out by Jungle Boy. It's good. Actually quite like this match. It's not like a million miles an hour, and it's not just spot. Actually, Lucha Bros have actually worked quite a slow pace here. All right, they've got Jungle Boy. Oh my God, Windham's coming. Windham's coming. The lights have gone out. Oh, they've come back on. What's that a tease for? They did that before. Do you remember they turned the lights off and it wasn't anything? And then when it happens again, it is something. They've done that. They've played that trick before. Whereby they tease that, oh, you know, there's a power issue or whatever. Boom. Planted. Edge of the ring. Jungle Boy. Nothing. Undertaker is coming. Combination fear factor. 1, 2. Oh, 2 count. Yeah, I don't mind this match, you know. I don't mind this match. So I'm guessing, I'm guessing that the lights will go out again, and then it'll be the House of Black. So he's got a table. Christian coming round though. So there's a table set up on the outside. 4 minutes to go. There's so many teases. We're going to have some new tag champs tonight, said Master Chief. The lights going off kind of killed the crowd being into the match. Windham! Windham is coming! Guys, it's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be absolutely insane. When Windham arrives, I expect a full apology. I expect you all to apologize to Austin and say, sorry that we doubted you, Austin. I mean, my source. I expect you to apologize to my mystery source that told me Windham is coming tonight. Nice choke slam through the table. One of the guys is asking to check up on his arm. Oh, I've got poo-poo. I've got a poo-poo. Can you check my arm? I've got a poo-poo. I mean, he does look hurt, actually, Fenix. In all fairness, Fenix is screaming in pain outside the ring. So, yeah. Maybe we won't take the mick out of him. Against the ropes goes Jungle Boy. Gets caught by Penta. Nice roll through. 2, 3, and he gets it. We've got new AEW Tag Team Champions. Oh my God. I can't believe this moment's going to be overshadowed by Windham. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We've got new Tag Team Champions. Fenix has broken his arm. And we are moments away. We've got 2 minutes from Windham debuting. This is incredible. So we've got Christian, we've got Jungle Boy, we've got Luchasaurus, we've got brand new AEW Tag Team Champions. They're showing a replay. Oh my God, that arm. Oh my God, I don't think they know how bad that is. Did you see the replay? Did you see the replay of Fenix's arm like bending backwards? Oh, it's nasty, man. I don't think they knew when they played that replay how bad that is, or that moment has even happened. Because when he gets planted down and he lands on the table, he doesn't take it as a flat bump. He actually kind of goes back and his arm completely bends the wrong way. That's broke. That's broke. That's broke. All day long, that's broke. Oh, it's horrific. Oh, it's horrific. Why did they show the replay? They mustn't have known. We've got people that have come walking out. Jesus. Weird stuff for the first TBS. Christian's going to turn heel. Well, he's congratulating them. The show's still on. The roster's come out. I was expecting the lights to go out, to be honest. I was expecting summer. Jericho watching on, smiling. That's it. That was not good. The landing was totally on the elbow, and it looks like it's separated. He effed up Fenix bad. That was nasty. It was an awesome show tonight. Jessica Express have targets on their backs now. I should imagine that's all over Twitter. All over Twitter. I don't want to see it again, in all fairness. Is there a still image? Maybe there's just a still... Oh my god, I don't want to see it! I wondered if someone had got a still image of that moment. Why did they show the replay? There's the whole footage. Oh my god, I don't want to see it. I'm not too bad. I mean, I've seen loads of like breaks in UFC, but oh god, it was nasty. Ugh. For some reason, it's one that when you see it, you feel it. I felt it. Ugh. New tag champs. 9 out of 10 show. Right. Let's get Rey Fenix arm snapped. Kind of a dead reaction for the new champs. Yeah, it was. I mean, in all fairness, I think we're all thinking about Fenix's arm. What did you think of AEW Dynamite on TBS? Did you enjoy it? I hope so. 8 to 10. 7 to 7. 7 5. 6 to 6 7 5. 5 7 5. Or below. Below. If you know, then you know. There we go. Damn, Alex had to pull that table out. Reminds me of the Ridge Holland ankle moment in NXT. I hope that Ray is okay. Austin with a 6.5 and some explaining to do. I mean, I must admit, I'm just getting some info through now that Windham was meant to debut tonight, but when that arm broke like that, they felt it would be distasteful. So, apparently that was the reason. Why have AEW put a clip of Ray's arm on their timeline? I don't know, have they? Have they? If they put a clip of it or a picture of it, do they know? They must know. Why are they doing this? Why are they showing replays? Spine and wood do not make a good combination. Yeah, remove the... I don't want to look at it. Remove this from the internet forever. In all fairness, do you know what? It's a different... This clip is different to the replay that they showed. Do you know what? It's different. That clip is different. You can actually watch this clip and it's not as bad because this clip here, as soon as he actually lands on the table, they cut to a different camera angle. They are purposefully putting that out so that you see the table spot. They want you to see that table spot, and you can actually watch that, and you don't see the arm moment. The replay they showed was actually just the same camera, and it's different footage. This is from a different camera angle. The replay they showed is just permanently looking from the moment he goes to the table, and you see the arm. In fairness, you don't see the bone coming out or anything, but yeah. Ugh. Yeah, the one they're showing isn't as bad. It's still a bit desperate though, isn't it? Although saying that, in all fairness, if I'd just broken my arm, I'd want them to show the moment it happened again and again. And I didn't just break my arm for no reason. I didn't break my arm so that you lot then don't look at the moment. So I suppose in a way, Fenix might not have a problem with it. And the footage they're putting up is actually, it's all right. Ugh. I wonder if the footage is going to be up for. I wonder if the footage is going to be up of the other one. Tony Khan just said that Fenix is legitimately injured. Duh. Thanks, Tony. Thanks for that. Just during days, Valentine's Day stream, everyone has a date. No one is left out. It's a formality. It's fun to mess with. Broken arm in AEW. AEW is UFC confirmed. Was it worse than Sid Vicious breaking his leg? Nah, that was bad. That was really bad. This is nasty, but you don't see any bone or anything. He just goes, the way he goes over, that his arm bends in a way it should not bend. So if you're all right with seeing the arm bend the other way that it should, if you can cope with that, and if you probably analyze, then you might see something you don't want to see. But in the brief moment we saw, the arm just went in a direction it shouldn't be going. Oh, God, it's awful, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, poor Rey Fenix. I hope Rey Fenix is all right. No. He's not. I can answer that for him. Rey gave up his arm tonight for the ratings. I wonder if TV will show it or if it'll be edited. Oh, I should imagine they'll show that version of it. They'll if they're gonna show it again, it'll be that version. I don't think they'll show. It's crazy, man. The replay they showed is the worst angle they could have shown. They showed him going through the table, but it's the camera that's in front, and you see him get choke slammed through the. It wasn't really. It was a sidewalk slam, really, but he puts him through the table, and then you actually see his arm. Because I purposely looked for his arm. I was like, how bad was it? So you're purposely looking for the arm, and when I was watching it, it's like you see it bend in the direction it shouldn't bend, and you're like, oh my God, that's horrific. And then they've put up these clips online, but as I said, they're not as bad, so. There's people saying, hello, please delete this. Yeah, no, it's all right. That angle is all right. I feel like I need to see. I don't want to. 775. We've had 211 votes. Days I retweeted it. Oh, do I want to look at it? I don't think I want to. I'm going to need to have a stiff drink. To get myself prepared to look at it. That's what she said. I don't know why I keep getting. Does anyone else keep getting this? On my notifications, I just keep getting nothing. It's a real problem with the app. Just cannot. I've done that a few times where I've tried to go to my notifications. I just don't get anything. Don't know. All right, I'll have a look at it in a bit. Once I've had about 20 whiskies. Let's end the poll. That was unfortunate. It was, wasn't it? It was unfortunate. I think we saw an incredible match in the start. I thought the main event actually was a very palatable Lucha Bros match for me personally. And I did not mind it at all. It didn't take my score down. Jade Cargill match, I mean, it wasn't great, but it meant something, and it was nice seeing her daughter there. And, I think there was quite a bit on this show. I really like, the MJF CM Punk interaction was good. Didn't like that line, but it's not the biggest problem. It's not like the whole thing was ruined and the whole show's ruined now. But I just didn't like it, and I detailed as to why. What else did we get? Wardlow squash, pretty standard, wasn't it? And I can't really think, to be honest. I mean, I suppose the question is, what did we give? We gave NXT a 7.5. Is this better than NXT? Was this better than NXT? I really enjoyed Tommaso and Bron Breakker, in all fairness. I really enjoyed that match. Maybe it's about the same. I'm going to say it's a 7.5. I think it's about the same. Look, I mean, you can't escape the fact that first match is nearly a 5-star match for me. I mean, that is significant. Nearly 5-star match on the show. How often do you see that on TV? How often do you see a 5-star match or nearly a 5-star match on TV? Like, that is... with the blood and everything as well. I mean, honestly, I'm at that point, at the end of that first match, I'm at like 9.5. And that took up like nearly 40 minutes of the show. So I'm at about 9.5, 40 odd minutes in. So, and then since then, like, the score's just like gradually come down. But I still think it's probably settled at about a 7.5 in all fairness. So let's have a look, see what you lot were saying. I don't think I saw... Did I see the poll when I ended it? Here we go. 50% of people, half of you, and we had 220 odd votes, so 100 odd people said this was 8 to 10. 38% of people said 7 to 7.5. 6% of people said 6 to 6.75. So only 10%. Only 10%. So that's 20 odd people said this was 6.75 or below. 88% of you said this was 7 or above. That's what I think about that. So, yeah. Seems like they did well, doesn't it? Seems like they did very, very well tonight. First match was great. MJF Punk segment was good. Everything else was... My God, Fenix's arm, WCW Psycho Sid leg break vibes. Yeah, it's bad, isn't it? It is bad. Why did the lights go out randomly? Do you know? I really don't know now. They've done that before where they've turned the lights out. I think they did it when Malachi debuted. They turned the lights out. Everyone was like, oh, they came on and, there was nothing. And I think the commentator said we have actually been having some trouble tonight. Really do apologise for that, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. And then it happened again, and of course when they came back on, Malachi was in the ring. Like, they did it well, actually, for Malachi's debut. And I wondered if they were doing it again here, but the lights went out and there was nothing this time. I must say, some of the lights out moments are rubbish. Lights out and, like, Malachi switches places with the Lucha Bros. That was rubbish. And then lights out and nothing happens. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't think we need lights out. Someone really likes lights out. Someone's really enjoying the lights out thing. I don't think we need it. Not all the time. I don't mind the occasional lights out moment, but God, we don't need it several times each week. So, anyway, we're done. We are back on, when are we back? We're back on Friday with SmackDown and Rampage. And, of course, we're back on Saturday with... that thing, Battle of the Belts. So we're here on Saturday for that. There is no UFC this weekend, but we do have football on football days. It is FA Cup weekend, so plenty of things going down, plenty of streams to look forward to. Really appreciate the support. Hope you enjoyed this evening. Even if you didn't, just be thankful that you're not Rey Fenix. And hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.